Shalom, shalom. Welcome in, everybody. Hopefully all is well with you all. If you guys are having issues with the live chat, exit out of the broadcast and come back in. I had to hurry up and quick fix that real quick. Yeah, because the chat wasn't showing up. The chat room wasn't showing up. And I gotta hear from y'all. So if you're having issues with chat, just exit out of the stream and then come back, and then you'll be good to go. You'll be able to see the chat room, no problem. Okay. All right, y'all. Welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of the Warsheep podcast. Listen, we got a real special one here today. Something that we need to continue to shed light on, because this is one of the things that we need to identify whenever we're coming across individuals who claim to be Hebrew Israelites. Okay. They claim to be Hebrew Israelites. And what traditions do they keep? How are they performing? What are they doing on a day-to-day basis, right? What are they keeping? Is it something that they're doing and trying to fly under the radar with? Things like that, right? And more. We're going to cover this thing, right? And plus, who is this guy? Mahdi. Who is this guy? Mahdi. And why are they claiming that he's the Antichrist, right? Here, right now. We're going to go ahead and discuss that. All right. On a Warsheep podcast, you already know that we like to shed light on some of these things because light creates understanding. Understanding creates love. Love creates patience, and that patience, well, it creates unity, y'all. So let's get unified.
Is the sheep preaching hate? It says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore. If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, I'll do whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent or is the wolf the violent one? He wasn't teaching hate, he was teaching common sense. Somebody's knocking you over the head, stop them. Do whatever you have to do to stop them. The ones that were knocking him over the head were afraid of the fact that he might swing back. So they said, no, he's teaching hate, he's violent.
Let's get this thing rocking and rolling, y'all. Let's get it. For all my righteous alpha men, drop a ram in the chat for me, please. For all my brothers out there. And for all my elegant women who are exceptional, drop a sheep in the chat for me, please. We're going to get this thing rocking and rolling, y'all. Listen, we're going to powerhouse this thing strong. One thing that I want to say right now, in the beginning of this broadcast, we had a recent video that just was published and dropped, okay? And one thing that I would like to say to brother Uncle Vernon, okay, is while you're out here exposing truth, do me a solid, okay? And you come on wax, you come on the video, show your face, and you come on here and you say that you weren't crying, weeping over at that last Passover of 2024 because you were placed in the position of leadership. That position of leadership is the reason why, right, that you're doing the things that you're doing right now, which is pandering, ass kissing. No disrespect. No disrespect. I'm just going to call it like it is, okay? Brother Uncle Vernon, you had to come out here and say it live. Say that you weren't praying to the Father. And the moment you stop praying is the moment he put you in the position of leadership. And the only thing that you really were concerned about was finally you were placed in a position of leadership. So my thing is this, right? While we're doing all this debunking and slandering and whatever it may be, right, and trying to take credit or steal credit from a man who may have done more than what you suggested he did, also come on wax, right, and tell the truth about that. You know what I'm saying? Tell the truth about that. Tell the people that I'm lying about that. That you know, everybody who's seen you doing that on the land, heard you talking about it, that we're all liars, especially me, right? Come on, Wax, and say it on Wax for me. All right, let's go ahead and do some shout outs real quick. All right, Mama Shay, my mother, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Brother Charlie, my brother, look, good to see you in this thing. Welcome in, welcome in. Season Sojourney, welcome into this thing. Good to see you, good to see you. Live stream the other day with the property records search background check vid. Got them down. Yep, got them doing damage control. Hey, they better get to it. Honestly, man. Good work, my brother. Good work, my brother. I really appreciate you. Brother Briggs, also brother Charlie. Let me know if you're all right with being a mod here on the Warsheep podcast. Let me know. All right, bless you. Brother Briggs, welcome in. Good to see you, my brother. My brother, shalom, my family. Welcome in with the ram in the chat. Brother Robert, good to see you in this thing, brother Robert. Hallelujah. Brother Z Manning, welcome in, my brother. Good to see you in this thing. Good to see you in the house, my brother. P31 Stitchings, welcome in. I almost said the wrong thing. Stinching. Anyways, let's continue. All right, Sister Rosa, let's welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Sister Heidi, welcome in. Let's go. Welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Hallelujah. All right, let's go ahead and get this ball rocking and rolling. I'm seeing a ram and I'm seeing the sheep in the chat. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling, y'all. Listen, my thing is this, okay? That we have the most important job here when it comes to exposing the truth, and that is to carry the truth, right? And my thing is this: when we're exposing the truth out here, we are doing a mighty fine job of doing so, especially to everybody in the chat. You guys do a fantastic job with revealing the truth and actually doing it in the chat room, engaging. So I will continue to ask, continue to engage, continue to do the things that you need to do to be able to get the truth out, right? That's just you doing your part, you know what I mean? And being able to help expose the wickedness that's going on here today. As you know, we're going to be covering a couple topics here, and I think that these are very important topics to cover. We're going to start off with something a little light, y'all, and we're going to go ahead and go over something that I believe is a government psyop. That's right. I don't think that this is real, y'all. I believe that what you're looking at right now is just a staged playing, whatever it is. It's all been broadcasted. It's increasing in popularity, but this is not a real thing. I believe this is a government psyop. I believe it's a false flag. And we got to really get into it as to why Islam, Mahdi, the one who's claiming to be the one, right, who's returned. I honestly believe that this is truly a psyop. This is not something to pay real close attention to. I promise you, it's a false flag. It's to get you distracted. This guy, he's a clown. I'm gonna tell you that right now. He's a clown. And it's a dog and pony show. He's just showing up, right? He's just tap dancing. And the rest of everybody else who's following him or right behind him are also paid actors. You already know they got crisis actors that they pay to be able to show up to certain events and to do protests or riots or whatever they need them to do. These individuals are paid actors to do it. And me personally, if you want to amass yourself a massive following, right, in short amount of time, the one thing that you will do is show that you got pull. Okay. When you show that you got pull out here, then individuals who are going to be deceived by the crowd, by the hype, by the way that the vernacular of the speech is, the ones who are going to be deceived, right, are easily misled, are going to easily start to follow the crowd. It's like hoarding sheep, right? The moment one of them starts to go that direction, all the rest of them starts to follow. You know what I mean? And this is just what you're seeing right now. You're seeing this type of psyop, okay, with this individual, Islam Mahdi. You know what I mean? That's all you're really seeing. You're seeing paid actors paid to show up and perform, right? As though they truly support this man when nobody knows who he truly is. They sprouted him up from the pits of nowhere, okay, to be able to distract you and I from what we really need to be focused on, okay, in this end game. And like Jesus said, Yeshua said, many will rise up in his name and say that I am the Christ. That's what they'll say. They'll profess that. Well, this individual is professing that he is not the Christ, that he is not the Antichrist, that he's here as a messenger. And I would like to see what that message is. We're going to go ahead and take a look at some of that real quick as well, y'all, because you know what? This is going to be interesting. I want to see how this all plays out. This guy just sprung up out of nowhere, and here all of the platforms are covering this one dude. And it's like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all don't see that this is a psyop. Y'all don't see that this is a part of what their plan is to distract you. Maybe it's something else that's coming along. Maybe it's war. Maybe whatever it may be that they're trying to get you distracted from. But obviously, this individual is doing whatever he's doing, right? And he's being very successful at what he's doing. Now, they did the same thing when you're in like the rap industry, okay? When you're in the rap industry and you need to gain a massive following in a short amount of time, they'll do a psyop. They'll put you like what's the guy's name? Charlemagne the God, with the false guy. You know what I mean? They'll do a guy like man, what's the guy's name who covers all the rap stuff, and he's just in a scandal recently. It'll come to me soon. But they'll put you on some of these podcast shows, right, that cover rap music, cover all these different secular music, and they'll actually put you on there and just boost you, right? Boost you, and they'll fake the numbers. They'll buy the subscribers, they'll buy the likes and whatever views, they'll buy all of that, right? And then they'll purchase a lot of times, they'll purchase the entourage. They'll go through great lengths to make somebody who they've just planted into the industry, an industry plant, to look like that they are big and famous now. Now everybody wants to listen to their music, right? All the children, everybody wants to listen to their music because it seems like they're a big deal because all these individuals are covering them on these YouTube streets. So we got to understand who to identify, who is truly covering them based on the truth and who is covering them based on pushing a false narrative, okay? Now, this Antichrist situation is growing in popularity, but it also gives him more clicks. It gives him more views. It gives him more ability to be able to reach more folks, right? And individuals who are easily swayed when they hear this this tone of voice and his vernacular and things like that, and the way that he's speaking, right? And the way that he's presenting himself, all mysterious, right? Like a mysterious individual, like man, you can't quite figure this guy out, right? A lot of that stuff is a recipe for disaster. I mean, I can think about who Charles Manson, another industry plant, another plant from the government, another psyop that came from the CIA. He was a CIA operative, right? Who's just so happened to get individuals all hooked on psychedelics because they were doing experiments on these individuals. All right. Charles Manson was not a man who just went psycho. Charles Manson was a man who was a CIA operative, okay, and did psyop moves, and he took a fall for whatever he did. But my thing is this, right? That was a play and a ploy from the CIA. This is much like the same thing. Let's listen in as to what this guy has to say in regards to this. Like I said, don't even take it seriously. Don't even take it seriously, y'all. My thing is this, right? This is an intergovernmental job. They are just putting them out here in front of you to what? And persuade you, to influence you, to entice you, to deceive you, to lead you astray. Whatever they're trying to do, the goal is what the goal is. But it's definitely a distraction. It's a psyop. This is a play. Let's listen to what this guy had to say in regards to his response to the Christian community, or to the community of believers who claim that he is an antichrist. Okay. Shout out to Robin here, his channel. You guys go check him out. He's got some good content. You know, of course, he's a Christian, so you know we have doctrinal differences there, but he still makes really good content, y'all. So y'all go check him out. All right, let's go ahead and
check out this clip.
I am not the Antichrist, nor do I claim to be the Messiah. The only Messiah to ever come was Jesus, the son of Mary, alayhi salam. 2,000 years ago, he came and was God in creation. I am a messenger and a witness from him to you. You are the Antichrist. Your country is the Antichrist. The United States of America, the great iron beast that tramples on the nations. I am a messenger from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. 1400 years ago, he came to the earth and was God in creation. Muhammad and Jesus are brothers, and there are no two messengers closer to one another than them. Christians and Muslims are brothers, and both accept Jesus as their Messiah. There are no two religions that have more in common than Christianity and Islam. No other religions on the face of the earth accept Jesus other than Christianity and Islam. It is not permissible for there to be war amongst you. Let there only be peace, and peace be upon you all.
So two things was interesting about this, right? He said that Jesus was God in creation. Then he said that Muhammad was God in creation. Then he talks about how Muslims and Christians
My bad. All right. So as you can see, yeah, I had to mute the mic, man. I do it sometimes, y'all. I do it sometimes, y'all. But as you can see, he is saying, and he's explaining that, of course, Jesus, Yahshua HaMashiach, the Messiah, is not the Most High Yah reincarnated. And also he's saying that Muhammad is another reincarnation as well. You know what I mean? So my thing is that we can identify and know that Muhammad was not reincarnated. We're here with Jesus. There was nobody quite like Jesus or Yahshua HaMashiach or Yahweh Shai. There was nobody else quite like him, not even Muhammad. Okay, so we can't include Muhammad into this equation. We can't include him into this equation because he just doesn't fit the description. Okay, my thing is this, right? Is that when we're hearing this rhetoric, right? And I'm telling you that this individual, this Islam, this Muhammad, you got to watch him closely. Watch him closely. See his movements. See how much he grows, right? They're saying he's an Antichrist, okay? Now, he's not currently fitting the description of the Antichrist, okay? But my thing is this, right? Once you start to see the footprint of that, then I guess you can be able to pay more attention. But right now, as of now, I believe this is just a distraction. I believe this is just a smoke and mirrors for you. So you're going to be distracted by this all while they're launching something else behind the scenes. This individual going to be able to mislead you, right? Lead you astray, but he's coming and preaching, teaching false doctrines, and he claiming he's received his doctrine from angels. He's just a messenger, okay? Now, we know based on what the book says that anybody who comes claiming that they received a new doctrine coming from angels, that they are accursed people, okay? This is not what this is. This doctrine that he's presenting is a false doctrine. All right. And according to the book, they are accursed people, right? A lot of times, if you are, it means you've been asphyxiated, okay? And you're going to be slated for destruction. Now, I want to show you guys this as well. The amount of support that this guy has, okay, is crazy. But I believe these are all paid actors. I don't think that these are real, actual people who follow this guy. I believe that they're paid to make these videos so that way we can be able to cover this, make it as big and blow it up as big as we possibly can, right? And individuals who are foolish and unlearned are going to fall right in and stumble right into this trap. Let's take a look at this real quick, y'all. I mean, take a look here. Like the banner that they have currently, look, it's just too pristine. The photos, when you see photos of this guy, it's almost as though he took he went to do a photo shoot. Like he had a whole photo booth set up, went and did a photo shoot and paid a real actual photographer to take his photos. You understand what I'm saying? And so this right here is just really, really, really put together. It's almost as though they about to run a movie trailer. You understand what I'm saying? This is a psyop 101. This is a false flag, a smoke and mirrors. This is all this truly is. You understand what I'm saying? Now, the real Antichrist, it is in form of a spirit. It can be in form of a spirit, and it also is going to be in physical flesh form. Just as Jesus, the Messiah, manifested as the Word, manifested himself as the Word manifested in flesh. The Antichrist is going to be a demonic spirit who manifests itself into flesh. Okay, then you're going to see a fleshly being who's preaching, right, almost as though that we're on the same level. We have the same understanding, and it may be a different type of doctrine. And they do claim that it's going to come from the Middle East. It's going to come from an Islam ideology, is what the claims are. Now, when you think about the characteristics of Islam and what they believe in, okay, when it comes to like Sharia law and things like that, which I'm currently doing a lot of studies on and putting together some separate, broadcasts so we can just cover that itself. You would say that a lot of the consequences, of course, they still keep the law of sin and death, right? Because they don't observe Christ the same way that we do. You understand what I'm saying? So they still do the law of sin and death. So if you commit sin, you'll be lucky. You more than likely you'll die, right? You'll be stoned. You'll be in firing range. You'll get your hand chopped off. You'll get your head cut off. Things like that is what they believe in keeping. This is the law that they keep in Sharia law. And so when they have a depiction over in Revelation that, of course, that the people, right, the believers in the Messiah would be facing this sort of war, and they'll make war with us. This is a form of war. This is a psyop. When they're able to control your mind, manipulate your mind, and strip the autonomy away from your mind, right? As I like to say, the loss of autonomy is the destruction of the mind. Once they're able to do that and control you, at that point, that's already an initiation of war. That's all they need. That's all they really truly need. Now, some of us would say that we are not currently at war, that this is peace. I would tell you, I beg to differ. We are currently at war. We're currently at war with our intergovernmental system. Our intergovernmental system consciously, okay, because they fully aware they want to keep you sick. They want to keep you distracted. They want to replace the Most High Yah with things, with materials. They want you to bind yourself to the things of this world, right? So you do not tap into the spiritual gifts. You can't tap into spiritual gifts if you love your house more than you love the Father. If you love making money more than you love the Father. If you love stability, even contentment more than you love the Most High Yah. You cannot tap into spiritual gifts. You can tap into something that's makeshift. You can tap into a mirage. You can tap into that, but truly tapping in, you can't do that. It's just something you can't serve two masters. You either hate one and you love the other. It's either one or the other you got to have, right? So my thing is this, right? I would say, yes, they are currently making war. They are currently doing a mental war. This is a mental game here. And so they're doing the best that they can to keep you as distracted as possible, to keep you from going into prayer, right? Because that's powerful. Tapping into the Holy Spirit. You know what I mean? All these things that they're trying to effectively keep you from doing, worshiping false deities, false gods. You understand? Worshiping false mighty ones. These are the things that they're really trying to promote and get you to do, showing you images like movies and things like that, of demonic things, right? And then you think that this demonic force can overcome the Messiah. This is how they design their movies. They design their movies in this way, right? To be able to coerce you. And this CIA has a huge part in the movies that you watch. They play a huge role in a lot of these movies that you watch because they want you, the public, to know what they want you to know. So this is another form of this, okay? Let's go ahead and keep watching. And you got some more people that's going to pop up here that's going to be...
وأشهد أن عليا والأئمة المعصومين ولده حجج الله وأشهد أن المهدي والمهديين حجج الله شهادة عليها أحيا وعليها أموت وعليها أبعث إن شاء الله البيعة القائمة على محمد.
They got the baby with the photo.
دولة الصين الشيوعية ونحن براءة من كل الحكام.
Now, this is right here. This is idol worship. This is idol worship. They got a printed photo, right? But these individuals, as you can see, it looks like a family. They got a child in the center. This is too well put together. It's too pristine. It's too kept. You understand what I'm saying? That right there tells me that they are being paid. It gotta be. Or it's either that or they've been watching all of this commotion in regards to this individual, and they have been blindly following this person. You know what I mean? So this is idol worship nonetheless. As you can take a look here and see, right? They got photos of this man, and they are actually actively, I don't know what they're saying because I don't speak Arabic, but you know, I don't know what he's saying. But obviously he's promoting him. Obviously he's literally saying that he is who he is, right? And then they're keeping that above the Messiah, right? And then of course who they observe is Muhammad. So that's one of the biggest things we got to really pay attention to.
Guys, sadly, all this does.
All right, so this is a big thing. Shout out to this brother Hitman for putting those two clips together. I really needed those clips, and I thought he did a great job with his explanation. But we're not going to go over the whole video. Y'all know that, right? All right, so my thing is this, right? Go check the brother out, Isaiah Robin. You know, he does great. He does good work. Like I said, he's a Christian, so there is some doctrinal differences. Okay. We got some different beliefs in doctrine. However, he still does good work with exposing the truth. Okay. And that's what we're all about. So as you can see, of course, he amassed himself some good following. Okay. He's got a great following. You can see that they've been covering him. My thing is this, right? We have Islam, we have Sharia law, we have all these different things that are coming here to the States. This individual, I believe Mahdi, he's going over to Africa soon, stopping at Africa. And you know how they are in Africa. If you depending on, listen, no disrespect to my African brothers out there. You understand what I'm saying? But y'all going to testify to this too. There's an issue of colorism in Africa. Okay. There's a major issue of colorism. If white is right in Africa, you understand what I'm saying? So you got to understand that that's kind of how a lot of them, I'm not going to say all of them, that's how a lot of them see life, right? So this individual's in Africa, he may amass an even larger following, okay? Because of the simple fact that they do believe that Jesus was white, and they do believe that white is right? And a lot of them do have that colorism type of mentality, where they don't understand how powerful they truly are within their own skin in regards to being melanated as well, right? And so that's just kind of what it is. But we're gonna call it like it is. Him going there, we'll see what happens. We'll see what takes place. I believe they're going into to man worship and idolatry at this point. Okay, y'all. Man worship and idolatry, and we know for sure that is totally against what the scriptures would say. Okay. And we know for sure who's supposed to return. Now, he says he's not the Antichrist. So that's one thing that he's definitely making clear. Okay. But my thing is this, right? Scriptures definitely warns us of this. Okay. It warns us of this. So we got to pay close attention to these individuals who are doing what they're doing and trying to throw a false flag. You got to know, like you said, like my brother Charlie said, listen, this is a Craigslist ad. Actors, you understand what I'm saying? On here in front of you, these people are showing you something, showing you some type of hype, getting you invested emotionally, physically, whatever it may be, and it's not even all real. It's fictitious, it's fake. You understand what I'm saying? They're just putting on a show. This is a psyop. They're just running another play on you. And those who are tapped into the world, y'all gonna be deceived by this. But those of us who are walking by the Spirit, we're going to identify this, and you're going to sit back and watch this dude, and you know that it's false, and you know that it's fictitious and fraudulent. You ain't going to pay him no mind. But you are going to do what? According to what Yahshua said, right? According to what Jesus said, you're going to let the dead bury the dead on this one. You understand what I'm saying? If the seed is planted, hallelujah. but you're going to let the dead bury the dead. You're going to allow them to do what they need to do, and you continue to serve the one and true Messiah, Jesus, Yeshua HaMashiach, and continue to spread his gospel, continue to spread his word and his message truly. Okay. Now, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and shall deceive many. Okay. That is Matthew 24:5. As we know for sure here, right? That, when he's speaking about this in Matthew 24:5, like this ain't going to be listen, this includes everything. Okay. This includes everything. This includes photos, Caesar Borgia, actually taking his son and making him Christ, right? And painting pictures of him being an image of the Messiah, right? That includes him. That includes movies. That includes everybody who comes to say that they are Jesus the Messiah. You know what I mean? That includes them all, right? We have false prophets who come back and pretend as though they are Christ. You know what I mean? We have all these different false teachers who come back and pretend that they're Christ, right? Who's exhibiting characteristics of the Antichrist. And as I said before, the Antichrist is a spirit that's going to manifest itself into the flesh, okay? It's a spirit that's going to manifest itself into the flesh, just as our Messiah, Jesus, was the word manifested into the flesh. This thing is going to be a demonic spirit that manifests itself into the flesh. We're going to be able to physically see him. We're going to be able to physically touch him. You understand what I'm saying? He's going to be physically walking on this earth, but you're not going to see the signs, right? That this is the true Messiah. You understand what I'm saying? You're not going to see the signs. There's going to be a rolling and thunder. All on earth would be able to know that the Messiah has returned, all at the same time, simultaneously. You understand what I'm saying? This individual is going to rise up, just as it speaks about in Revelation. He's just going to rise up and speak, right? He's going to make peace treaties, 7-year peace treaties, in which he has to break that. He's going to break that 7-year peace treaty, right? Which is going to cause an abomination on the earth. And it's going to plunge us into what we know now as the end game. This is going to be the true end game. You understand what I'm saying? This is where fight or flight is going to have to kick in, because a lot of you who are full of talk are going to have to really prove it, right? We're going to all have to really prove it. A lot of us who talk a big game talk about Jesus, Yeshua, just as Peter did when he said who would never deny him. And he wind up denying him what? How many times? Thrice before the crow crowed, right? My thing is this. Are you going to be operating as Peter during that time when he folded and actually denied the Messiah? Are you going to be the version of Peter that came back and actually went up against the council, went up against leadership during that time and preaching and teaching Jesus, and went and got crucified upside down in order to stand on business for Christ? Which one would you rather be? Which one are you going to be? At the time will come where you'll have to choose. So in your choice, when you're making your choice, be sure you're tapped into the Holy Spirit. Be sure that you're prepared spiritually. Okay? If you're not prepared spiritually, the flesh is weak and it's going to lead you into utter darkness every time. You can do as many push-ups as you want. You can do as many dips, pull-ups. You can bench press as much as you want to bench press. I don't care what gates you got in your land. I don't care how much land you got across the country. I don't care how many saints you got on the land. I don't care how all you guys are building houses on the land, right? I don't care about any of those things, because they can easily storm your doors, storm your land, and take over, just as they did what? Goshen up in Indiana. They'll do the same thing all around the world. So your land is not going to be the thing to save you. Even then, the brethren that you may have to defend your land with, it's only a matter of time. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you're being truly led of the Spirit, right, and you're not binding yourself to these things, right, and you're listening to the Holy Spirit will lead you into what? The wilderness, where the Most High Yah has prepared a place for you. You didn't prepare this place for yourself. Yah has prepared that place for you. And you may have to go and kick the traces from the land that you purchased. You can't be too heavily invested. You can't be too bound to it. You have to be ready to move if you have to move women and children, if you have to move them, right? During those times. So we're just making that very clear. We're just making it extremely clear, right? Now, My thing is this, right? When we are identifying all of this, listen, it ain't for nobody to like really like I said, to fear or to put too much investment into this, right? This is so you can identify what times we're in, what the times and the seasons are, right? Because we don't know when the coming of Messiah is, but we do know that there's steps that need to be fulfilled before his return. You need to identify these situations and say and mark it as a step. Write it down in your journal. Say, okay, on this date, this time, this is what took place. Okay, you can do that as well if you're meticulous in that way, right? You know, we got people who really are interested in earthquakes, and they monitor how many earthquakes are going on in diverse places. That's really valuable too, right? To know what's going on. But this is not so you can fear, as the Messiah said, but do not fear, do not be troubled in this time. You understand? Do not be troubled. So that's direct orders from your Messiah to not be troubled. Anybody who's trying to instill a level of fear in you, you need to know that that is an Antichrist spirit. That's not a spirit of the Most High Yah. That's not a spirit of the Messiah, because the Messiah didn't tell you, well, you better hurry up or else this, that, and the third, right? He didn't say all of that. But what I'm saying is that he's not trying to push the level of fear into you, right? I understand promoting urgency, right? Okay, urgency, great. But let the Spirit lead and guide you into all things and keep you into all things that are true, okay? And if he's leading and guiding you to a community or to start a community or to go purchase land to be set apart, then follow those orders. Be led to it. You'll know what it feels like. Now, the real Messiah cracks the sky, all right, with a shout, okay, with a shout, with a voice, with all these different things, okay. The archangels, everything will get to singing up there, okay, and that'll be at the sound of the last trump that is laid out over in 1 Corinthians 4:16, okay. It's laid out over in Corinthians 4:16 that this is the amount of entry that you would have. It'll be a grand entry. So these individuals who speaking about this guy being the Antichrist, listen, this is all fluff. This is all a distraction, smoke and mirrors. Whoever he is, let the dead bury the dead. Let that be alone. Okay, let the dead bury the dead. The blind who's leading the blind, and they'll all fall in a ditch. Allow them to be where they're at. But we know when the Messiah truly returns, it's going to be a shout. There's going to be a voice. There's going to be the archangels, you understand, singing. And it's going to be the sound of the last trump, of the trump. You're going to hear the trumpets blowing. According to what? 1 Thessalonians 4:16. 1 Thessalonians 4:16. So we need to be sure that we paying attention to all of this, right? Because we know that the Messiah ain't returned. If he said he's not the Antichrist, if he's coming off as trying to, you know, pose as the Messiah, right? Then we know for a fact who he is. We know that he's a liar, because ain't nobody heard no trumpets. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I ain't heard no trumpets. Have y'all? Y'all tell me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you heard some trumpets. Drop a 2 in the chat if you ain't heard no trumpets yet. If you ain't heard no shout from the archangels, if you ain't heard nothing, right, in regards to a grand entrance of the Messiah, because maybe I missed it. Maybe I was asleep. maybe I was asleep. I was too tired to catch it. I was too tired to catch the shout and the voice and the voice of the archangels and the trumpets. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't heard nothing. So we know for a fact that this individual, if he's pretending to be the Messiah, right, we need to watch his footprints, see his footprints, and we know this is smoke and mirrors. This is a distraction. If he's moving in a certain direction, right, we know who he is. We can then start to label him Antichrist once he starts to try to make peace treaties. When the world starts to fold and bend to his will and say, hey, you the one who needs to give us the answers. When we start to see things like this, right, then we know for a fact that we're dealing with somebody. But as of now, this is a psyop. This is a distraction. Let the dead bury the dead. Now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next topic, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next topic. That's all I really got to say about this guy. Anybody who pops up that's similar to this dude, you know, Muhammad, Isaiah Muhammad, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys him again real quick. Anybody who's similar that pops up, who's similar to this type of dude, you know, I always chalk that off as a distraction. The dead burying the dead. Let the dead bury the dead. They always are going to all fall into this. How many of these guys popped up over the course of a few years? You guys have heard of many of these guys popped up, right? You understand what I'm saying? They're going to deceive all of these individuals who are not truly called of the Most High. And the ones who are called, they're going to start to be deceived by a guy like this, right? And then those who are called, but it's the very elect of us, right? We might have been through trials and errors and tribulations of already being deceived by the ones who are false. Okay, so we kind of did, we can no longer be labeled as boo-boo the fool. You understand what I'm saying? We can no longer be labeled, you fool me once, you fool me twice. You understand what I mean? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You know what I mean? Type of situation. So we learned a lesson, right? And we're looking to move forward in life, and like, okay, we can identify when we're gonna get, when we're gonna get bamboozled, when we're gonna get swindled. I see a lot of twos in the chat. Hallelujah. Bless you, bless you. Welcome. Pastor Rufus, welcome in. Bro Vic, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Womanati, welcome in. Brother Amen, welcome in. Hallelujah. Good to see you in this thing. Mama Clay, welcome in. Hallelujah. We got twos in the chat. Let's get it. All right. So yeah, this guy, let the dead bury the dead. We moving on. Hallelujah. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to this next section, right? This next topic of conversation. I really want to introduce this to you guys because I think this is extremely important to identify this. And you already know what's going on, because my thing is this, right? When you're in this ministry, right, and their facade and what they do on its face, when you see this ministry and on its face, it appears as though it's a Hebrew Israelite ministry. It appears as though they serve and follow the Most High Yahweh, right? It appears as though they keep the law, statute, commandments, okay? It appears as though these are all things that are factual and true. All of them appear to be so. Until you start to really challenge the perspective of what reality truly is. And you start to hear the testimonies of a brother Nick who challenged the position of an idol that was carved, right, in a pendant that has continued to be kept to this day. And it's offended many brothers. Many brothers saw this individual carve this pendant, and he continues to hang close to it, will not get rid of it for nobody, okay? And causing offense amongst the brethren just to be able to hang tight to this thing. Just to hang tight to it. This is some sort of witchcraft or some sort of control that'll make you say, like, you know what? I don't care how these brothers feel. I'm going to still keep this pendant, even though it's associated with some of the most pagan traditions, pagan beliefs known to man. And there's no way you can run from it. I don't care how you spin this thing. I don't care what article you try to pull. I don't care what you really try to do. Right? And we all know who I'm talking about here. Dowell. And so my thing is this, right? When we know for sure this individual will not abandon his position on this idol that was carved out, he continues to call it a fork and say, oh, yeah, it was just something that people ate with. The devil's a lie. I went in, right, and I saw something that really struck my I guess it really intrigued me, right? I was very curious as to why and what would be said about this particular thing, this particular item. So I had to go ahead and do a deep dive, y'all. I went ahead and did my investigations, y'all. And I'm telling you now, what I found was actually absolutely profound. I promise you, it was crazy. I'm like, look, man, this guy here, what a deceiver, what a manipulator. You understand what I mean? How the level of deception is crazy. Okay, because we know that there was a huge issue with this particular pendant that was carved out that is in the exact same resemblance as a what? A trident. I want to give you guys a quick remembrance as to what that was, right? And what they described it as. And they actually pinned it to a guy named, what his name was, what? Frogman. Frogman, I believe, what was, I forgot his real name. But when you say Frogman, this is an individual who's a part of the Navy SEALs. They call him Frogman because they spend a lot of time in water. Okay. And so they call them frogmen. And this individual literally, obviously, makes it extremely plain as to what their intentions truly were, regardless on what they're trying to sell you, regardless on what articles they try to pull to be able to deceive you. Remember, this is not scripture. These are articles, right, of history, so-called historical proof, right? Articles of a three-pronged fork that they try to peddle off to the saints, as though they're retarded or stupid or don't understand or do their own due diligence and research. Like, my thing is this, right? You call it and claim to be a fork, right? But the actual pendant itself is backed by military might, right? It was influenced heavily by the worldly military. For somebody who shouts and screams, "Come out of her, my people! Come out of her! Come out of her!" Right? Sell all you have and give it over and lay it at my feet. Lay it at Dowell's feet. Lay your proceeds at Dowell's feet, even though that Dowell didn't lay any of his proceeds at anybody else's feet but his own. So my thing is this, right? Leading by example, right? Didn't do that. This pendant is backed by a worldly army, armed forces, this military. The branches of the military is what influenced this pendant. So how are we relating it to a fork, eating utensil? How are we relating the two together? They're both in two separate worlds and have been depicted as two separate things, right? One of them is used for violence. The other one is used for eating. Okay. So let's keep it a buck. But I did a little bit of digging and I learned a little something about this thing called the Budweiser. A lot of you guys who are a part of the armed forces know what the Budweiser is. And a lot of you who are not a part of the armed forces, you're about to learn what it is today. I'm going to show you what a Budweiser is, y'all. The Budweiser. And this is what we have to pay attention to. When it comes to these things, we have to pay attention. We cannot allow these individuals to deceive us and try to pull a wool over our eyes or try to do anything in regards to that, right? My thing is this, right? Very interesting comment. False prophet. Keep an eye on them. Like I said before, my brother, listen, let the dead bury the dead, right? Let the blind lead the blind. Let them believe what they want to believe. This is all a government psyop here. Now let's take a look at what we got when it comes to the Budweiser, okay? The Budweiser. And I want you guys to tell me if there's a resemblance to the pendant that they carved up. Y'all tell me. You guys be the judge here, okay? You guys be the judge. Is there similarities to the pendant that they carved up? You tell me. Is there similarities to this pendant right here? You see the Budweiser? This is the Budweiser. This is a nickname for this pendant, okay? That is an insignia for the Navy SEALs. Now, Frogman was a Navy SEAL. This is the same insignia that he may carry right now today. I believe there's certain things that you have to do to earn this, or you just got to be able to join the Navy SEALs, okay, in order to earn this pendant, this insignia. As you can see, this is a eagle, okay? This right here. Let me describe this thing to you, okay? This thing right here is an eagle, okay? This is an eagle holding a flintlock pistol and also holding a trident all at the same time, okay? It's sitting on an anchor, okay? Sitting on an anchor. So this is what this is. Now, when I pull up this clip right here, let me play the clip one more time for you guys, so you guys will understand the context of what's being said here.
And then the Ninth Ranger, the Trident Frogman, the Trident Frogman, the Trident Frogman.
The Trident, the Ninth Ranger, the Trident is Frogman. As you can see, this eagle has gripped a trident, holding a flintlock pistol, and also sitting on an anchor, okay? And not only that, it has the wings of the eagle spread wide. Y'all tell me that's not a resemblance. Now, my thing is this, right? Since that's the inspiration for this particular pendant, we're going to take the description of that inspiration. This insignia is what inspired the trident portion of the one that Straitway has, the pendant that Straitway carved up as an idol, okay, onto the false god that they worship, which is Poseidon. They worship Poseidon. You got to know when people are planted. And I'm starting to believe that Dowell is a plant. I don't believe he's not even a real Yahudim. He's not a real Israelite. He's not a real Hebrew. You know, he has blood. His bloodline comes from Irish blood. You know what I mean? He comes from the seed of Japheth. So my thing is that I'm starting to think he's a plant. I'm starting to think he's been planted here to deceive people and to lead them astray. That's just his job, coming from the government, coming from the CIA. Potentially, he's went on record to say that the CIA is needed in this country. The CIA is needed, even though they've done so much harm, not only to this country but other countries abroad. Okay. So now, special welfare insignia, also known as the seal trident, also known as what? Also known as the seal trident. Also known as the seal trident. This is what they call it. This is called the seal trident. So off the top, off the cuff, off the rip, it's telling you exactly what it is. It's a seal trident. So since it inspired your pendant, Dowell, the Navy SEAL portion of that pendant is a trident. It's not a fork. It's not a three-pronged fork. You can't move away from it being a trident. You can't move away from it because the origins of your inspiration claims that it is a seal trident. Okay. And that's what they're backing it by, because not only do you have marine animals, but you got the false god Neptune. You're serving other mighty ones. You understand what I'm saying? Now, it's totally fine for the Navy SEALs to do it because they're in the world. That's the worldly army. But when you claim to be Hebrew, when you claim to be Israelite, this is not okay for us to do. This is not okay for us to keep this. Look, let me show you guys this real quick. Okay. You see that this seal that I got right here? It says Warsheep Warriors. It has what? A menorah in the center of it. There's nothing wrong with this as being something that people can earn, right? Because it represents what? The faith. It represents the faith. It doesn't necessarily represent any heavens above or earth beneath, right? What's wrong with this? What's wrong with designing something that is more holy, right? That's not going to offend your brethren. That's not going to do things like that, right? But that's going to be able to be a testament to your faith, right? Which is this, of course, the menorah and things like that. But for some reason, they can't let it go. For some reason, they don't care if they bring about a stumbling block, right? Because now you got other individuals serving false mighty ones, okay? They don't care about being a stumbling block. They don't care about leading anybody astray. Individuals sacrificing their very body in order to earn this particular pendant that they created for themselves. They don't care about any of those things. They don't care. They have they could care less about your soul salvation. And this is a small issue. This is not a small issue. This is a huge issue. This is a major salvific issue that he wants to keep it small. He wants to keep it on hush hush, under the radar. But how does Satan move? Satan moves hush hush, under the radar. A presentation of holiness, a presentation of being righteous. You know what I mean? But inwardly, they full of dead man's bones, right? And all hypocrisy and all uncleanliness. So when we're identifying these issues, these problems, these things, when we say, hey, you carved yourself an idol and it represents a trident, a weapon. It's a weapon that was most commonly associated with Poseidon and other false mighty ones. They popularized that trident as a weapon, okay? Even with the Navy SEALs, the reason why they hold the trident, okay, is because this is Greco-Rome. You got to understand, this is the United States of America is just the Roman Empire with a different name, okay? It's this empire with a different name, and of course in Rome, I believe it was Neptune. So Neptune was the one who carried the trident in Rome, and in Greece it was Poseidon in Greece. Now Poseidon became more popularized than Neptune. They both are pretty popular false mighty ones, okay? But Poseidon was the one who actually really popularized the trident, right? As a weapon known in Greek mythology, okay? In Rome, it was Neptune who popularized the trident. And as you can see, they adopted the same trident because the influence came from Neptune. It came from Greek gods or false mighty ones like Neptune and Poseidon, because they're the false mighty ones of the sea. Okay, they're the false mighty ones of the sea. So since the Navy SEALs primarily are in the water, okay, now you got to understand the SEALs is like, they do it all, sea, earth, air, land. You understand what I'm saying? Sea, earth, air, land. You know what I mean? So they pretty much go across the board. The Navy SEALs will do all of that stuff, right? And so since we understand this, right? And of course they're called frogmen, marine spirits, things like that, right? They're associated with. You got to know for a fact that this ain't no hiccup. This ain't no accident. And then them being physically, really, their heart is attached to it deeply. It's not an accident. That's not a hiccup either. I promise you it's not. That is witchcraft at its finest, right? Witchcraft will have you compelled to keep something forever, no matter what happens, no matter how much misfortune it causes you, no matter how much pain it may cause you, no matter how much it brings down your spirit. If there's a form of witchcraft that's tethering you to that object, you're not getting rid of it unless you break those chains, break that bondage through the Most High, through Yahshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Messiah. Yes, sir. That is a pistol. That's a flintlock pistol that is associated with this particular insignia. That is a flintlock pistol. He's holding a trident, sitting on an anchor. So the nickname is Navy Community. Okay. The Budweiser. This is the nickname here. The Navy community named it the Budweiser, right? That is the nickname. Okay. The Budweiser recognizes those members of the United States Navy who have completed the basic. Yep. So, it's just they earn this once they've completed the basic training for the Navy SEALs. Okay. Now, since that is the inspiration, how can we say that they do not serve other mighty ones? How can we say that based on them not getting rid of this pendant and holding fast to it, right? When they can find something that's more holy or closer to righteousness, they'll prefer to hang on to this particular trident, this insignia, right? The one that they carved up for themselves, instead of finding something that's holier. That is witchcraft at its finest. Something's going on there. Something is a real problem there. They don't want to get rid of it. They don't want to say, you know what, this is causing my brothers to stumble. This is causing them to come to an offense. Let me just go ahead. Let's fix this and find something different, right? Let's get something that's a little more righteous. They'll tell you, right? They'll tell you as somebody who's newly coming to the Messiah, right? Coming into the faith, right? Discovering who you are and coming and following and keeping the law, statute, commandments. They'll tell you that you're no longer allowed to wear Nike. You're no longer allowed to wear a lot of these different brands who has emblems that represent false deities, false mighty ones. They'll tell you that shit all day long. They'll tell you that all day long. They'll even tell you, some of these brothers will even tell you, that's in Straitway, they'll even tell you that you can't eat Oreo cookies no more. That you can't even eat Oreos now, because when you consume the Oreo, there's an emblem on there that represents this right here. And then once you consume it, it's going to do this to you. They even do that. They go that far. They're that meticulous about symbols, right? But they fail to recognize, right? And they overlook it when Dowell puts out Trident. All of a sudden now it's totally fine. All of a sudden now, yeah, it's just the fork. All of a sudden now we're making excuses as to why we should be able to look at this on his hat. Why he should be okay with offending the brethren, and they can't even entreat the man enough to tell him that, yo, this is representing Poseidon. This is representing Neptune. Because obviously that's what the Navy SEALs are doing. They are representing Poseidon. They are representing Neptune. You understand what I'm saying? This is what the Navy SEALs are doing effectively, because that's what they wanted to do. The false mighty ones of the sea, right? So we need to understand that the level of delusion, of a strong delusion, that whole ministry is under, to watch this man prance around with a trident on his hat, representing a false deity, regardless of, oh yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, of course you're gonna say that. I mean, I would expect that the Antichrist would say that he ain't the Antichrist. I would expect that. I would expect him to say, hey, yo, I'm not the Antichrist. Don't look at me. You know what I'm saying? I would expect somebody who serves Satan to say, no, this ain't me worshiping no false deity or marine spirits. This is not me worshiping that. No. That's not what I'm doing. Secretly behind closed doors, does Satan show you his hand? Does Satan show you who he truly is? No, Satan will pose as an angel of light. He's going to come as though he's representing the Messiah. He's representing the Most High. He's going to come as an angel of light, a beacon of light. That's how he's going to step to you. He's not going to show up, you know what I'm saying, decked out in all this different apparel that's, full of, symbolism and telling you, yeah, I'm a Satanist. He's not going to tell you that. He's not going to show his hand that way. He's not going to tell you that I don't believe in, any Most High. I don't believe in that. I'm an atheist. He's not going to tell you that. He's going to tell you I'm a Hebrew of the Hebrews. He's going to tell you I am an Israelite. He's going to tell you I come bearing a message. I'm a messenger. I'm not the Antichrist. I'm not anti-Messiah. I'm not somebody who works as an agent of Satan. I'm not from that Satan I'm not from that agency. You understand what I'm saying? I represent the Most High. He's going to tell you and profess that out of his mouth, but truly his deeds done in the background are something totally different, yo. Something totally different. And so if we understand this, right, and we know this, then we can identify where we need to be able to be, where we need to be safe, where we need to what we need to stay away from, how we need to protect each other, how we need to warn each other, right? Because it's obvious that this is what inspired your pendant.
And then the Ninth Ranger, the Trident Frogman, the Trident Frogman. The Trident Frogman.
What?
Now, my thing is this, right, y'all? It's pretty sad for the simple fact that he switched up and stopped calling it a trident and start calling it a fork. And then y'all bought it. All of y'all the Straitway, y'all idiots, y'all all bought it. Y'all, he sold it to you and you bought it like it was nothing. You understand what I'm saying? And it is quite sad. It is quite sad that you did that. Because who's going to fight and stand for the Most High Yah? Who's going to do that? Who's going to fight and who's going to stand for Yah? Anybody with the spirit of truth can identify that this individual was lying this whole time. The trident is a weapon of Poseidon, the false mighty one of the sea. The false mighty one of the sea. It represents domination, okay? Conquest and false power under demonic authority. That's what it represents. False power under demonic authority. What do we hear rhetoric coming from the Straitway? Domination. Submit to those who have the rule over you. Bow to me. Serve me. You understand what I'm saying? That's the rhetoric that comes from Straitway. Don't speak against leadership. Receive not an accusation. Everything is submission, submission, submission. You got to submit or quit. You understand what I'm saying? You got to submit or leave. Let us dwell in peace. That's the type of rhetoric you hear. It's either you submit and allow this individual to operate, right, in wickedness and keep false deities, false mighty ones before you, before your eyes, violating and in complete breach of the commandments. What's the first? Listen, no other Yahs, no other mighty ones before me, for he is a jealous El. You see him literally breaking this thing every time he puts his hat on, and that insignia is on his hat. That trident is representing that. Not only that, we got soul and virtus. This is all things that are symbolic to the world. These are all things that the world cares about. The world truly holds precious to them, right? They model after these false deities, the Greek mythology, the Roman mythology. You understand what I'm saying? And so we as Hebrew Israelites, right, so-called, if we're serving the Most High, we should never want to keep any of this stuff, okay? We should want to do away with a lot of this. We should want to do away with a lot of this stuff if you truly love Yah. But the subtle things, when they say, hey, no, this is not what this is. Don't look over here. Look over there. Those are the things that would lead you straight to the pits of hell. Those are the things that you ignored. The things you said, well, you know, like the guy said, like, you know, Shannon. Well, you telling me that pastor don't know what he's talking about? Obviously, he knows what he's talking about. That's what he said, right? Effectively deceiving you guys even further. Oh, I believe he is the man of Yah, is what he says, right? But the research he gave you guys were everything from articles. Then he goes on to tell you what he's doing when he made that clip. When he made that video telling you about this pendant, he told you exactly what you need to know. And guess how Satan operates? He needs you to consent. He needs you to first be fully aware of what the truth is. He can't deceive you to a point where you don't know at all. He's got to show and display the truth to you in your face first and get you to accept it. And once he's able to get you to accept it, then he got you. He showed it to you dead into your face first. He told you exactly what it is. And I keep replaying it for you so you remember what he said it was and what it represents truly. This is the insignia it represents. The trident represents this insignia here. It's called the Budweiser. Okay. And he even associated with the marine spirits, trident, frogman. You understand what I'm saying? But he backdoors, does a live stream with some other people, and people gives them a few articles to read to your dumb ass, and you fold like a wet noodle and say, you know what? It's Pastor Dowell. Of course he wouldn't lie to me. Of course he wouldn't just try to make this up to make it seem as though you know, that it's okay to keep this pendant and represent Poseidon or Neptune. Of course he wouldn't. He would never. Neither would Satan. Satan would definitely make sure that you felt very comfortable in your sin, very comfortable in allowing something like that to go forth and sacrificing your very body to earn this pendant, this insignia. The sacrifice is what we need to take account of. The sacrifice. You're sacrificing your very flesh, your body. You're going through turmoil, pain. You're putting your body through all this stress in order to earn this pendant. So you can wear it around as a what? A badge of what? Soul and virtus, of honor. You understand what I'm saying? Of pride, with your chest out, right? Oh, look what I was able to accomplish while you're walking around with a false idol that represents other mighty ones. We're going to look into the background of what he associated with. We're not going to look into other articles that now all of a sudden we want to have surface, right? And Baldwin is the one who's leading they all asses down the river. Honestly, he's about to have federal charges being brought up on Dowell. He's about to have all kind of shit going on because they think he's so smart. They think he's the epitome of all wisdom over there. And so they'll just do whatever the hell they tell him to do. He sends him one article and Dowell runs with it. He just runs with it. He just takes off running with that one article and tries to pitch that to you and sell that to you as though it's true, when we know for sure that it's false. All this stuff is false. Now, my thing is this, right? Since we are understanding that these are things that are false, why is this significant? You might ask. Why is it significant? I'm pretty sure that you guys already know why it's significant. I don't need to. You guys are intelligent. But I would want to ask, if I'm somebody who's probably still lost. I'm going to play this clip for you guys one more time.
And then the Ninth Ranger, the Trident Frogman. The Trident Frogman. The Trident Frogman.
The Trident Frogman. Shout out to bro Nick there. Shout out to bro Nick on that one. Shout out to him. The Trident Frogman. Right? Why is this significant? Because the book over in Deuteronomy speaks directly against it. Yah clearly says, he clearly says this, okay? He clearly speaks directly against it. And my thing is this. We all know this. They say it every Sabbath, right? Every Sabbath day, in which who are you truly worshiping now? I don't know. Who are you truly worshiping now? Okay? They say it. They recite it all the time in regards to what you should do. Not keep any other mighty ones before me. Right? And we know for sure that this is exactly what they're doing. Okay? We know for sure exactly what they're doing. Let me go ahead and get this thing real quick for you. Now, I'm going to show you guys this, right? When it comes to these particular situations and the falsehood in them, we're going to go deeper into the history of this thing, even deeper, okay? Because we already know. We just pulled this up. This is what inspired this insignia that Straitway carved up for themselves, effectively putting that whole ministry in idolatry, okay? That whole ministry is full of idolatry and man worship. That's all there is, okay? They worship Dowell. They worship other positions of a leadership, okay? A lot of them bow all the way down to their knees, face hitting the floor for a lot of these individuals. I had to pick one of the brothers up. I'm like, brother, what is you doing? Get up. You understand what I'm saying? And then the so-called individual who's in leadership allowed him to do it. As we know, we've read that Peter, when that man bowed to Peter picked this man up and said, I ain't nothing but a man. What you bowing to me for? I ain't nothing but a man. You know, I'm paraphrasing that, so y'all don't start getting all religious on me. I ain't nothing but a man. Why are you bowing to me? This is what Peter told him. Where you have individuals who are in leadership of Straitway, right? Who are effectively allowing people to bow to them all the way, face hitting the floor. I'm talking they chewing and eating dirt. You understand what I'm saying? Chewing and eating dirt. They are chewing and eating dirt. Okay? Chewing and eating dirt. Bowing to men. You ought to just obey Yah. Don't obey man. Obey the Most High Yah. So we see this, right? And I'm gonna show you a couple things here when it comes to this symbolatry, this idolatry that's going on within Straitway. This man worshiping Dowell, worshiping other men. This is profound throughout this ministry, and it only got worse. It's only gotten worse. You understand what I'm saying? The level of gossiping and slandering, as we already know. And Dowell, you owe me some money. I'm waiting on this check. Do I need to send you my Cash App? I'm waiting on my check because I pulled the records. And not only that, you did a response video to the video to the live stream. So you know for sure I ran them records. Not me, brother Charlie. We're gonna split that. We need 500. We need 500 down. You know what I mean? We're gonna split that down the middle 50-50. You understand what I'm saying? We're gonna split that down the middle 50-50. And my thing is this, right? I'm looking for the payout. You did a response video. You talked about the land, plots of land. You right? Trying to steal some credit, whatever you're trying to do. We see you. We see you. I'm looking for my money now. Dow, you're reposting videos. Where my money? I know shit better happen. You better have my money. Hey, yo, I know shit happen. You better have my money, Dow. Shit, you better have my money. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna have to charge you up real quick. I have to charge you up. You get, hey, if you're a man of your word, you're gonna have to send me. You're gonna have to go ahead and send me that 500. You're gonna have to go ahead and send me that 500 because we did a deep dive and we did it live. We brought the records live. You understand what I'm saying? Brought the records live. What we had on file, that's what we brought live. You understand what I mean? We publicly undressed Pastor Rufus and all his dealings from 2020 all the way up to 2024. Okay. I just want my money. And I know shit better happen. You better have me my money, Dow. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. It's crazy how the Most High does things, right? He just brings that thing full circle. Because the moment you start charging up your own brother in regards to something, right? It's the moment he start getting you, putting you in a position to be also charged up about it. You know what I mean? Especially if he's dealing with you, right? Especially if he's dealing with you. Okay. He's going to put you in those positions. All right. Here we go. I got it now, y'all. He's going to put you in those positions, y'all. Let's take a listen on this real quick. And then there's a couple of books that you guys can check out too, right? And like I said, this is the insignia that was modeled after. Obviously, as you can see, what they considered it as in this particular armed forces, this branch right here, in the Navy SEALs, they considered it to be a SEAL Trident. Okay, if we're looking back into what the inspiration was when they created their insignia over at Straitway. They created their insignia and they modeled it after Frogman, who was in the Navy SEALs. So we're going to go back to the origins of the Navy SEALs. And the origins of the Navy SEALs, the SEALs considered it not to be a three-pronged fork. They considered it to be a SEAL Trident, right? Paying homage to the false mighty one, Neptune, who's in Rome, to the false mighty one, Poseidon. That's a Greek in Greek mythology. Okay. Now we're gonna go ahead and go a little bit more of an explanation as to what this really is, okay, and what symbolically the ancient symbols are, okay, especially when it comes to the Trident and Poseidon. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this video real quick because you know they're gonna break it down for you. Let's go ahead. I'm just gonna put a nail in the coffin real quick, y'all. Hopefully y'all don't mind. You understand what I'm saying? Hopefully y'all don't mind. Let's go. We're gonna put a nail in the coffin real quick, and let's get to it. We're gonna put a nail in a coffin. Oh, hold up, not that one. It's pretty astonishing, man. It's amazing to see and witness that people are just ignoring a lot of this truth. The truth is, go to the origins. What inspired the insignia? What inspired it? A trident inspired the insignia, right? The Navy SEALs inspired the insignia. Just go to where the inspiration came from. That's all you really need to do. Don't go to listen to him talking about an article and trying to cover it up, right? Trying to hide the sin. The cloak is going to be removed. The cloak has already been removed. We're going to go behind it and we're going to take a look at what it truly is. Let's go ahead.
Welcome back, symbols enthusiasts. Today, we have a captivating topic to explore. Have you ever wondered about the powerful symbolism of Poseidon's trident? Well, today we're going to dive deep into the history and meaning behind this iconic symbol. So, let's embark on a journey through the realm of the mighty sea god. Before we delve into the depths of Poseidon's trident, let's start with a question. What comes to mind when you think of the sea? Waves crashing against the shore, vast expanses of water stretching as far as the eye can see.
As you can see, the Navy SEALs, that's who they represent. They represent the sea. That's the reason why they call them frogmen. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. Let's continue.
The sea has always held a mysterious allure, and for the ancient Greeks, it was the domain of Poseidon, the god of the sea and earthquakes. Poseidon's trident, a three-pronged spear-like weapon, is an instantly recognizable symbol associated with the god himself.
And what was it?
And then the ninth ranger, the Trident frogman. The Trident frogman. The Trident frogman.
But what does it represent? To understand its meaning, we must explore the mythology and legends surrounding Poseidon. Poseidon was not just the god of the sea, but also a powerful deity with control over storms, earthquakes, and horses. His trident, forged by the Cyclops, was a divine weapon that granted him authority and power over the waters. The trident's three prongs symbolized Poseidon's dominion over the three realms, the heavens, the earth, and the sea. With a single strike of his trident, Poseidon could conjure tempestuous storms or calm the raging waters, making him a force to be reckoned with. But the trident held more than just elemental power. It was also a symbol of Poseidon's authority and the respect accorded to him by mortals and other gods. In many ancient artworks and sculptures, Poseidon is depicted holding his trident, a visual representation of his divine status. As the god of the sea, Poseidon was also associated with navigation, maritime trade, and the protection of sailors. The trident served as a talisman of safety, guiding ships through treacherous waters and ensuring safe passage for those who honored Poseidon. Throughout Greek mythology, the trident makes appearances in various stories and legends. It played a pivotal role in the creation of the majestic horse Pegasus, and it even became a coveted prize in the Battle of the Gods during the Titanomachy. You might be wondering, what happened to Poseidon's trident after the era of ancient mythology? Although the trident itself is a mythical object, its influence can still be seen today. In modern culture, the trident has become synonymous with the sea and its mysteries. From the logos of naval organizations to the emblems of seaside towns, the trident continues to represent the awe-inspiring power and allure of the ocean. It serves as a reminder of our eternal fascination with the deep blue and the respect we hold for its unpredictable nature. With that said, thanks for watching, and see you in the next.
That was a quick one. Hopefully y'all didn't get too bored out there. Hopefully y'all didn't get too bored out there. It was just a quick one. 2 minutes, y'all. 2 minutes. Don't get mad at me, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but while we're here, okay, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed just yet. You understand what I'm saying? We need maximum effort to get this truth out, y'all. Maximum effort. Let's give it maximum effort. For all of you out there talking about you're gonna go over there and listen to Fabio. For all of you haters out there, you know what I'm saying, who's sitting here spying on the liberties, watching Fabio right now.
If there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me. Sit back there and say my hair ain't luxurious when you know it is, bitch.
Hey, man. Don't be mad, man. Don't be mad because you got that going on in the back of your head, man, and it's spreading. You know what I'm saying? Just shave it off. Shave it all the way off completely. Go bald, man. Just let it go. Let it go. Like Frozen. Just let it go, bro. It's time to just let it go. But my thing is this, right? All right, so we understand. We all know the history of this, okay? And now what I want to bring up here now as well is, let me show you guys this, okay? Now, I've been seeing him wearing this quite a bit, okay? You guys been seeing him wear it too, okay? Quite a bit when it comes to his his regime that he's from, okay? He was a signal soldier in the army, and he was an airborne ranger, okay? Now, this signal soldier is now, of course, sporting his old gear, okay? His old gear, the one he was associated with. Now, this old gear, of course, is of the world. Why is he still sporting it? I don't know. I thought we were in the world, but not of the world. So he's still very proud of his heritage and, connection over to this particular sector or this branch of armed forces. Okay. So he represents them all day long, every day. Right. Because what? We're in the world, not of the world. And tells you come out of the world, all while representing the airborne 509th platoon. Right, the infantry. He was a signal soldier, meaning he didn't effectively, he didn't do shit. He didn't go to war. He didn't see battle. Right, he just kind of called in codes. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? Called in code, locations, coordinates, things like that. Maybe done some things with Just along those lines, you know, if they needed Popeyes, then he'd order Popeyes for the gang, right? If they needed some Chick-fil-A over there in the middle of the desert, he'd fly them in some he'd place the order and fly them in some Chick-fil-A. You know how they just waste our money. You know what I'm saying? You know how they just waste our money. You understand what I mean? My thing is this, right? They waste our money flying in Chick-fil-A to the troops in the middle of the desert. You know, I'm talking shit. But that's what they're up there. That's what they're up to. So I'm going to show you guys this same symbol as well. I'm going to give you a closer look to what this symbol truly is, right? And what it looks like. And why is it though? He's telling you that you need to get rid of your Nikes. You need to get rid of all your Nikes, okay? You need to get rid of all of your Oreos. Never eat another Oreo in your life because there's symbols on there that could infect and, you know, corrode the inside of your body, right? That come from other mighty ones. Get rid of your Nikes. Get rid of all this stuff. As you can see, you see the wings on this thing, right? I'm gonna zoom in on that bit. You see the wings. You see what he's got going on. You see that, of course, this is the airborne or whatever, infantry. But you also see the massive circle up top. You see the circle right here. Now, my thing is this, right? I don't think that our U.S. government serves the Most High Yah. Do you guys think that they serve Yah? Yes or no? Tell me if you think that our this country here, the U.S. United States of America, serves the Most High, and they keep His law, statute, commandments. That this country is all about the Most High Yah. Okay, so even in their symbols, okay, they're going to hide certain things that are symbolic to who they truly serve. This is a circle, right? This is a pentagram, right? That's been associated with what? Plenty of what? Witchcraft and other things of that nature. I'm gonna show you guys a few things that I had dropped in my messenger here, and we're gonna go over what this pendant is all about, right? What this thing is all about, right? And we know what it's associated with. We know what it's associated with. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm gonna give you a closer look as to what this really looks like, because that right there is what it is. Okay, obviously it is. Obviously, you can tell and you can look at it and be like, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Of course, you can relate it to the Baphomet. You can relate it to anything, right? When it comes to witchcraft, the pentagram, you know what I mean? Like, you can relate it to all these things. You can associate it with all of it, okay? And it's obvious that it is that. But why would you wear it if you claim to serve Yah, right? Why would you wear it and promote it when you say that a Nike check is something that we need to be getting rid of? We come into the faith, we got to get rid of the Nikes. We got to get rid of all these different things that represent other false mighty ones, especially if it's something that represents Satan, right? I remember Bo was going to rip my ass because I had something on the land that didn't represent the Most High, right? It did represent Yah. Not that I was knowing because I was new, right? But he still was going to get on me, right? My thing is that how are we not saying that this is exactly what it is, right? It's easy to tell. This is a pentagram right at the top of the parachute. It's a pentagram. You flip it upside down, it's the Baphomet. So who are you really serving when you're representing this, when you're representing the world, when you're keeping a trident, right? And you've called yourself that trident and you're keeping that as well. Who are you truly representing? Who are you truly serving? Are you truly Hebrew, right? Because Hebrews ain't going to keep this. They're not going to represent this. Or are you pagan in nature? But on your face, you want to proclaim that you are, all while violating in breach of the commandments, right? Because you got other mighty ones put before him, things that represent other mighty ones, right? You should not bow down to them nor serve them, right? Well, every individual that goes and takes that Goshen retreat and go over there and they put their body on the line, are they not in servitude? Are they not putting themselves in servitude in order to earn that trident, to earn that pendant? They're sacrificing their body in order to do so. That's what they're doing. Now, as you can see, of course, we got this. We got it up there. This is, of course, symbolic. It's not a circle for no reason. You understand what I'm saying? They didn't put a circle around it for no reason. That wasn't by accident. Y'all are smart. Y'all know when y'all first was getting into the truth, y'all start to recognize a lot of different symbolic things that the not only the government was doing, but also in the industry, what they were doing as well. You start to recognize it. You start to identify it. You understand what I'm saying? Signal was well. Satcom. Okay, Satcom. Woody got jump wings for his mobile backpack radio. He got jump wings for his mobile backpack radio. I was in a concrete building operating and repairing Satcam. Okay, hallelujah. Which is a very good skill to know. Dowell, sir, told me back in 2012 that Dowell Senior told him back in 2012 that Dowell Jr. started in Signal backpack radio man, got jump school and attached to Bravo groups. Okay, I see what you're saying. Hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button, please. Absolutely, hit that like button. Shout out. Appreciate you, dude. Woodrow never got into specifics about his military career. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't. You understand what I'm saying? Because it might be a little embarrassing from the way that he tries to carry himself, as though he is like honestly, like he's Rambo. You understand what I'm saying? He carrying himself like he's Rambo. And my thing is this, right? He carries himself like he's Rambo, but truly, you just a backpack signal guy. So my thing is like, well, why are we putting on this front? You know what I'm saying? Like, we Rambo. And I've seen some of his early training videos, y'all. And I'll tell you now that the vest that he was wearing in those early training videos, that was airsoft vest. That wasn't no real actual vest with plate carrier and stuff like that. He was wearing an airsoft vest. It's for airsoft. It's for literally, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't for training with firearms. So I don't know if he actually truly understood his gear, his equipment, because I wouldn't have wore an airsoft vest in order to go train, for the simple fact that it's an airsoft vest. I mean, what I want to wear that for? You know what I'm saying? I'll go wear it to play paintball, which I have. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't go wear it to train with actual firearms. Almost like I'm trying to look like I know what I'm doing, right? That's what it gives off. It's like you're trying to appear like you know your stuff because you got on an airsoft vest. Now, that tells me you didn't really know anything. That's all it really tells me. Like, you had to go and search some things out. Salute to you, Florian Rollo. Welcome into the chat. Salute to you, my brother. You know, bless you. All the righteous of Israel, all the righteous men out here, all the righteous sisters out here. Salute to you.
Carry on.
And carrying on, Major Pain. Let's get it. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this thing real quick. Sent over this book, just kind of showing you guys the difference between the two, right? And understand it. We're gonna kind of take a look at what I'm talking about with this star, with this circle. This is a pentagram, you understand, on top of the parachute, and then it's got the wings, right? Why are we still wearing this? Why are we still keeping this, right? If you left the actual armed forces because you wanted to serve Yah, and they were getting in your way of you serving the Father, in which you tell the story all the time, why are you so associated with this particular unit? You know, why are you so hung on to the insignia, the branding, right? Everybody else got to get rid of their Nikes. Everybody else got to get rid of all these different things that represent other false deities. But you yourself, you can keep all of that and you can justify it. That's a narcissist 101. It's narcissism. That's all that really is. Let's go ahead and take a look at this real quick, y'all. That's narcissism 101. All right. Let me share this with you. All right. So this is just sent over to me. Shout out to Brother Charlie. Appreciate you sending this to me real quick. You already know what this is. Masonic. What? In occult symbols. My thing is that this is the full. You guys should read it in its entirety. Okay. This has been illustrated, and this has been written by somebody who's an expert in it. Okay, Dr. Kathy Burns. Let's take a look at it. All these different things, all these different symbols, even his hand gesture that the Spider-Man do. We got to understand that right there is also a thing that can place curses on people. You understand what I mean? So every single time you're watching the Spider-Man do all his little moves and you see him shoot his little web, then you got to understand how that what is symbolic too. A lot of these individuals who's allowing him to do this right here, same thing in rock music. You know what I mean? When they doing this, they are placing curses effectively on the individual that they're pointing it to or directing it to. Okay, that's one thing that I do know about that. And of course, this right here, this is the reason why they say you gotta get rid of Nike, is because of I believe Ares, the god, the Greek god Ares. Okay, represented right here. Now, same thing with this one, this pendant right here. As we can see, that is what's on top of the parachute. Is this thing right here? Is what's on top of this parachute. Okay, that's what's on top of the parachute. That's what's on top of the parachute. So while we're doing this, right, we need to understand that these individuals, they're hiding in plain sight, because if they can deceive you, then they can definitely do so, right? And they will lead you straight to hell. You understand what I'm saying? And they put it right in your face, and you seem to just don't know it. That's the reason why I'm starting to believe that Dowell's actually an operative. He's a CIA operative or something. They just planted him, and they want to. It's an experiment. They're trying to see who's going to be faithful. They're trying to see who's going to be who. Honestly. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move it on down to pages 68. Right, we're gonna go down to the 60s real quick, y'all. Y'all should go ahead and read this. This is good stuff. I took a look at this real quick and was like, yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for. But it shows you exactly what's going on with each symbol, right? With the pentagram, with the East Star, okay? The Eastern Star. You know, my thing is this, right? Of course, they call him the son of the morning star. Powerful. This is a powerful satanic pentagram, right? Now, when they use this, right, this particular pentagram, it's obviously for obvious reasons, to place spells, to conjure up spirits, to be able to have certain fortune go their way. They want certain things to go their direction, so they conjure up these spells to manifest these demonic spirits. Okay, you will find that the satanic pentagram invisible and indespisable as you attempt to draw from the infernal power of our Satan. This is who they talking about. So this is going to tell you exactly how to use this thing. This is going to tell you how you're supposed to use it, how you're supposed to get it, right? This is masonry. They're using it across the board when it comes to people who literally ain't for you, right? They ain't for you. They're not representing you. They're not representing the Most High. But when they claim to, and then they still have emblems like this laying around, right? And they still are wearing it, representing it, no matter how subtle it is, then you got to know who they're truly operating for. They're not operating in your best interest. They're silently deceiving you, and it's deceptive in nature, right? That's just kind of what they do. That's just kind of how it is. They're going to deceive you because of the simple fact that you will not allow yourself to see the truth. You do not have the ears to hear. You don't have the spirit of truth in you. The ones who do are going to wake up and going to see the truth in regards to these symbols and why he cannot get rid of them, why he's so attached to them. Like the book says, right? When you cast out one demon, if you allow that demon back, he's going to bring 7 of them worse than him, badder than him. You understand what I'm saying? And this is what you're witnessing right now is a man, Dowell, who's toying around, playing around with spiritual warfare, got all these different books on how to conduct witchcraft, right? Which is manipulation, like 48 laws of power. That's witchcraft. That whole book is based on witchcraft, how to manipulate individuals' minds. You keeping that book, right? Listen, I understand you want to be embraced and understanding the knowledge within the book, but you keeping it and actively doing it on your subjects, on your followers, telling them to never outshine the master when Jesus the Messiah never told them that. Why would you stand in a pulpit in the middle of a sermon and then tell them to never outshine the master, unless you want to keep them dumbed down? You want to keep them submitted. You want to keep them under full submission to you. You're going to beat down their self-esteem. You're going to exalt yourself high, so they'll feel like that you are the epitome of every single of righteousness, that they need to follow your example in order to make it to the kingdom, in which that rhetoric was passed around that ministry time after time after time, is that if you want to make it to the kingdom, just do what Pastor Dowell does. Well, what does Dowell do? He keeps tridents on his hat as it represents Poseidon and Neptune. What else does he do? The insignia here, right? He keeps that, right? He keeps wearing the same thing here. Keeps wearing the same thing. This pentagram. I'm trying to find a word. This pentagram is on the top of the parachute in this whole logo. It's at the top of the parachute in this whole logo, letting you know exactly who they serve, right? But why even want to come close to it? Why would you want to even come close to the pentagram? Why would you want to still represent things of this world and not things of the Messiah? As you see, gradually he starts to revert back to what he misses, which is the world, right? He misses this time where he's in jump school or whatever he was doing in airborne rangers. So these things right here, he will not disassociate himself from. He will not let it go. This is what he serves. And then he effectively tells you to never outshine the master, all while manipulating you into believing that he is the example and the epitome of all righteousness. He is the prime example of what a man should be, while being detached from society that we know now today. He'll call you like you're less of a man, right? Like you ain't nothing of a man, even though that the economy, everything else around us, right, and as well as employment for men has definitely been, it's a huge difference from the time when he was in the workforce, and which we know that he hadn't worked for years. It's been decades since he works, possibly close to a century since he's worked. But yet he'll judge you based on the lifestyle you gotta maintain. You might have to have your wife working a little bit, because you know what, it's going to take a couple of incomes in order to really sustain this house that we got here in the United States that is extremely overpriced. And we got to save for land. We got to take care of the saints whenever they need it. Dowell needs a new house. Dowell needs a new vacation. Then we got to give them money for that. And if we don't give money for that, then we're going to get kicked out the ministry. Are we going to be shunned and treated like we ain't nothing, like we're trash because we don't give enough? When the economy, when employment has changed, especially after COVID, a lot of these things has changed. And this individual who claims he loves you, right, or claims that he's a shepherd over you, is completely disassociated with that. So when you have a plight, just as I did, I lost contracts and I just moved to a new city and I lost contracts based on not having the adequate help. The thing he told me was that I, just because I was falling on hard times, it didn't mean nothing, right? Falling on hard times, right? And we ain't gonna give him shit. We got it, but we ain't gonna give it to him. That's exactly how he approached that situation. It was no love. There was no understanding. Oh, he just moved. He just got over here. It wasn't none of that. So you understand exactly what this is. You can identify it for what it is, right? You can identify it. You got to see when somebody's manipulating you in your own face and manipulating you to dumb you down to an unprecedented level so they can rule over you and you're just weak. You're not even fighting back. You're going to do it willingly, and you're going to believe that you're serving and doing the work of the Most High when truly this individual just manipulating you into believing that you are, but you're not. Anybody who stands up into the pulpit and says to never outshine the master, something that comes from the 48 laws of power, you got to know that they're actively using those 48 laws of power on you. They're doing so. And this is a book of witchcraft, of manipulation tactics. So with all of that being said, right, on its face, claiming we keep the Sabbath day, claiming we keep the feast days, claiming that we do all of this stuff and serve Yah, when truly behind the scenes, subtly, you will start to see the true colors. The veil is going to be removed and is going to be lifted at every turn. At every turn, you're going to start to really see those true colors, right? We are not to keep any other mighty ones before us, according to Deuteronomy 12:30. Okay. You cannot redeem a cursed symbol. Okay. You can't redeem a cursed symbol. There's nothing you can do to redeem this. Okay. There's nothing you can do to actually do what's needed so that way you can receive the truth. You understand what I'm saying? There's nothing you can do about it. You got to just go along with the flow of it. And you got to say, you know what? Once you realize it and identify the truth in it, you got to realize that you've been deceived about it. You've been deceived. You've been tricked. You've been swindled into believing that this right here has no real, I guess, association with demonic forces. You got to receive that. You got to receive that wholeheartedly. And then once you receive it, guess what else you're doing? You're inviting in demonic forces to be able to inhabit you. You're giving them well with in your tabernacles, on your land. They can literally be there present to where people are randomly passing away on accidents, on whatever you want to label it as. They are randomly just be gone. Here 1 minute, gone the next. A lot of people will refer to this as a sacrifice. Sometimes the land will require that. Sometimes you got to get that sacrifice in blood. How many individuals were hurt and harmed on that land and lost their life on that land? And how many, since we do see that Dowell keeps symbols, that he preaches and teaches, but he also manipulates using the 48 laws of power, which the Most High Yah is not going to teach you to do so. But I know who will teach you to do so. Satan. He will teach you to do that. He will hand you a pamphlet in order to teach you how to manipulate the masses. The 48 laws of power, literally, you can call that a satanic Bible. It's a piece of it. You can call it that. You can call it Satan laws because that's what you use to manipulate people to do your bidding, to do what you want them to do, to control them effectively. And you got them in the pulpit saying it. Never outshine the master. Who said that in the scriptures? Anybody, any patriarch? Do we have anybody in the Bible who says anything close to that? Do not outshine the master. Never outshine the master. We don't have anybody who's effectively saying anything like that in the scriptures, in the Bible. So when we identifying this and we're seeing what's going on here, right? We got to know that we should vote with our feet on the side of righteousness, right? And I'm going to add the immediately in there too. You got to get the hell out of Dodge because you got to figure out who you truly want to serve. Do you want to serve false deities? Do you want to serve false mighty ones like this pendant with the trident? Okay. Do you want to serve somebody who will keep this and actually spit in your face when you say you're offended by it? They won't give a damn if you're offended or not, and still will wear it right in your face. And still is going to wear it right in your face. They don't care if you're offended. They don't care what's going on. They only care about their own self. What exactly are we going to do? What moves will we make in order to serve the Father? Are we going to make the appropriate moves to be able to say, you know what? I'm going to kick the traces. I'm going to stand on business. I'm going to stand on kingdom business. And I'm not going to allow a man who told me this was a trident to now backdoor come tell me, oh, it's a fork. Something totally different from what you associated it with before, and try to deceive me into believing that this is truly what it is. Will swear up and down until he blew in the face that it's not a trident, it's a fork. But what did you consider it as before? And the level of hypocrisy continues to increase and grow in this man.
And then the Ninth Ranger, the Trident Frogman, the Trident Frogman. The Trident Frogman.
What? What?
Hey man, shout out to brother Nick. Message sent. Listen, my thing is this, right? And all of this that is surfacing, I want to really just hone in on this whole Trident situation And the way that this man literally, Shannon, brother Shannon, okay, got up there and told you that how do you know more than a man who's been doing this for 30 years? I'm showing you how. I'm showing you. I'm showing you the level of hypocrisy. I'm showing you what he associated it with, which was the Navy SEAL, right? And what the Navy SEALs would consider this to be. They will consider it to be a what? A SEAL Trident, as they called it. You see it there. SEAL Trident. That was the association. That was the origins and the inspiration of that pendant. And these individuals who are sacrificing their very body for it are opening up gateways for demonic forces to inhabit them. A lot of them are going to be full of pride. A lot of them are going to be arrogant. A lot of them are going to be pompous and pious. A lot of them are going to be a lot of these different things because that's what that spirit is going to introduce. It's going to introduce the pride. They sacrifice their very body. Now they can walk around with this thing on their chest in pride and be proud of their accomplishment, right? All right. So the demon that effectively left, right, came and brought 7 times more back with him. So we got all these different things going on. So actively right now we see Straitway Ministries is a ministry that is serving other mighty ones, that is serving them, right? And that's keeping them before you, showing them to you in symbolism, symbolically. If we were to be, if this was like a rap group, okay? If this was a rap group, you would be picking this thing apart all day long. Look at what they're doing. Look at how they're doing it. They'll label you conspiracy theorists. You understand what I'm saying? It's easy to do now because they're outwardly showing you who they truly are. They're showing you who they truly serve. They're showing the symbolic, the symbolatry. They're showing you all these different things and the mighty ones they serve. Individuals who are not waking up to this, right? They really need to start waking up because their soul salvation is truly on the line. A man who's too prideful to understand when he's not operating in the will of Yah is not going to do the best, everything for your betterment, for your soul salvation, so you can progress and move forward and make it into the kingdom. He's not worried about that. He's worried about what he can be able to gain for himself, right? So as Paul will be the one to tell you that there's certain things that he would absolutely avoid in order to be sure he don't cause an offense to anybody else or a stumbling block. Literally in the scriptures, he'll tell you that there's things he do not do at all, that he refrains from, that he does not have, because of the simple fact that he does not want to. He wants to gain souls. He wants to gain the souls of many. So the reason why he refrains from that and stays away from it in fear that he may cause an offense, right, to one of y'all's little ones is great, because he refrained from doing so much in order to be sure that he can gain the souls, win the souls of many to Yeshua, to Jesus the Messiah. It's I'm trying to tell you, the more layers you peel back with this particular ministry, you start to see even more, not only with the man worship, but the idolatry. You start to see all of this stuff. And recently, they just dropped a video right before my live stream. Okay. Right before my live stream, in which I really do want to address. I want to go over this video and address it, because you see the level of man worship. Okay. You see the level of deception that's coming from this video. Now, me personally, I'm not saying deception on the basis of, is Vernon lying? Brother Vernon, is he lying, or is he telling the truth? I'm not saying deception on that level. I'm saying deception as to where they want to pretend as though they're doing the righteous thing, right? When the facts are, they are truly operating in wickedness. They're truly operating in hypocrisy. And they refuse to address any of the major issues that have ever been brought up. But they'll address this little petty stuff, right? That honestly, me personally, I can't sort that out for you. I can't sort that out for you. I can't do any of that for you. You understand what I'm saying? But my thing is this, is that when he's speaking about this situation, when he's talking about it, okay, y'all, he's talking about this situation and talking about running down each property. Now, we know he just got off a live stream and talked about each property, talked about the value of the property going up or increasing in its value, We just got done talking about it. Some of this stuff here, when he's running through it, he's just showing you different lands, different properties. So this is the land that he's on. You guys, if you missed this video, you need to go and watch it. I guess Dowell reposted it on his channel. So I know for sure you guys got wind of the video. Dowell, I'm looking for my money, man. I'm looking for the money. Go ahead and get the payouts rolling. I believe Rollo, I believe he did some unboxing of the background check. I believe Brainwaves did it. I believe that you got some people to pay out on. You said just run it. You didn't say nothing about nothing else. There was no stipulations. We didn't have to. We ran it. Where my money? You know, where my money? Okay. Listen, we'll put it just like that. Now, you guys go check this out. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. My thing is this: I can't refute. I can't deny. I can't listen. I wasn't there for the building of the projects. I wasn't there to try to keep tabs on Pastor Rufus. I wasn't there trying to keep tabs on who was doing what and what type of work they was doing out there. I wasn't there for none of this. Okay, but I'll tell you this much: when it came to individuals speaking about this situation, I'm pretty sure we can say that he did something, right? I'm pretty sure you could. He said, bro, Vernon's lying. Dowell is a liar too. And that's the biggest thing. This right here will be a back and forth. This right here, listen, it's like, yo, we got to lead. This is one of the ones you got to lead to the Father, right? You got to lead to the Father. Because my thing is this. Even if you're coming out here and you're saying this, right, Vernon? Even if you're coming out here and you're saying this, you still got other things you need to prove. This is not important. If you're saying that he didn't do no work on these projects, okay, guess what? Were you not under his leadership? Were you not under his eldership? Were you not working under this man? Okay. Sorry. But everything you guys were able to accomplish was accomplished, right? Under his leadership. Who gets the accolades for that? Regardless, just like you say, obey those who got the rule over you, right? You're a part of Straitway. You should still be doing exactly what you should do when you're a part of. Listen, you submitted to those who have the rule over you. You obeyed them. You did all this other stuff. But now look what you're doing. Effectively taking all full accolades. You've taken full credit for this whole thing. You've taken full credit. Every project, I'm the lead builder. I'm the one who did this. I'm the one who did that. Listen, let another man's lips praise you, man. Let somebody come out here and say that. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, it's crazy how they watch y'all and come face to face, especially after Dowell said he would, debate they're not finna come on. Debate or challenge, money challenge anyone. Yeah, they're not finna do that. They too scared to actually come on a Warsheep podcast. We didn't put it out there. Hey, come on live and talk about it. They prefer to do this, right? And have a back and forth and do all this extra stuff rather than come on and actually address it live so we can put this thing to bed. Do it. Just put it to bed, right? But instead, you want to do back and forth on videos. And I wouldn't trust nobody of Straitway. I wouldn't trust nothing they say. I don't think that any of those men at Straitway are honorable men. I don't believe that they are. So I wouldn't trust nothing that they say. Anything that comes out their mouth, I don't trust it. I hold it with a grain of salt because I've seen the level of wickedness they operate under and the level of lies they operate under. And if you can be able to sit back and watch a man lie, right? And then you're still content with being around him and him leading your soul salvation, I can't trust you. It's just that simple, especially if you've been caught up in lies and you're identified. The Most High has led you not only to this channel at the Warsheep podcast, but he's led you to others' channels, right? He led you to Pastor Rufus telling his side of the testimony, and you still refuse to receive the truth, the love of the truth. Yo, I don't trust you at all. You watch, you listen, you hear all both sides, right? You hear the wickedness coming. You hear the hypocrisy. You go to Big Screen B channel, and it's full of hypocrisy, full of Dowell and him being a hypocrite, saying one thing one day, and then and another thing the next day. You see all of that, right? And you still trust this man with your soul salvation. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah, y'all need to really repent, because y'all standing by and watching wickedness happen and develop. Leviticus 5:1, go read it. Now this will come out in discovery. He needs to prove this now. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest things, is that the accusations is there. So can you prove the claim? Can you prove the claim? You got to be able to prove it. Once you start to talk about it, where's the proof? You understand what I'm saying? And in fact, this is something that he wouldn't be able to bring up in court, because of the simple fact that there's no real tangible proof and evidence of it. You might have, I mean, you're gonna sue him based on this? Like, what's the real goal here, other than to try to slander him or try to defame his character? Okay. Did he tell the people not to watch, and they watching every video? Crazy. Absolutely, man. In fact, this last broadcast, this dude, I clicked on somebody's link because they posted a link on Facebook. So I clicked on it to see what it was about. And he like, man, y'all go over there and listen to Fabio. They go over there and listen to Fabio. I'm like, bro, you real funny, man. That's real funny, yo. That's real. Hey, cool. I'm cool with that. I receive it. I receive it. You know what I'm saying? Hey. Like you doing something, like you actually calling somebody something, like you finna hurt my feelings by saying that, bro. I don't give a shit what you say, but I know one thing. I've been tagging your ass for months now. You understand? I've been clocking your teeth for months. I've been exposing you for months now, on truth, standing on business, 110%. The only things you got to say is, oh, long hair sissy, Flabio. Everything that I'm hitting on you is hitting home. Every nail is hitting on the head. You ain't even addressing the real proof. People who come on for interviews, they hitting you hard with truth. You're not even addressing that. But you got time to slander. You got time to backbite, do all this gossiping behind the scenes. You got time to do all of that for somebody who said and claims that they working all day. You sure got enough time to talk and post videos yourself. You understand what I'm saying? It's just that simple. None of them are honorable. None of them. Yeah. I mean, it's just sad though. They haven't said a word about Big Screen B. Not a word. Absolutely not. How you gonna debate with yourself? How you gonna contest yourself? How you gonna sit there? Oh, that's not true. But you the one who said it. That's why that channel is so powerful, right? When he just finding clips that where he's contradicting himself. You understand what I'm saying? And exposing his own self. That is powerful. You can't argue with you. Yeah, you did it. You said it. You can't argue with that. Exactly. This will be used to prove slander, malicious, and our intent and ill intent. Thank you, Uncle V. Yep. Thank you, Uncle Vernon. Uncle Vernon. Hey, this is where it comes to the major issues and the major problems, y'all. Is that when we're witnessing a lot of this stuff, and let me say this. The truth's gonna roll out. The truth is gonna be revealed. This whole video that you did in regards to showing forth all of this, okay, and going through every property, right, and what was purchased and what was built, okay. You might have been the foreman on that project. You on those projects. You might have been a foreman. You might have been instructed to take care of the job site, whatever it may be. But there is a manager that's supposed to be on site too, right? Or that comes back and forth with material, with building material. You understand what I'm saying? And that's also equally as important. So we can't diminish that its importancy. I know you want to say that, of course, oh, he's finding any excuse to go run to the hardware store. Well, what are you supposed to do? Send you? Is he supposed to send you, Vernon? The one who's supposed to be doing all the work, who's supposed to be the foreman, who's supposed to be teaching everybody, the master builder. Can y'all imagine that you got bodies, right? And you got individuals who still learning this stuff, don't understand the difference between a hammer and a jigsaw. and you send them to the hardware store to pick up actual equipment and material, okay, and other things that you need to finish the project, do you think that they have the competency to actually get with the right stuff? Or would you send somebody who knows what they're doing and they're going to make sure that everything is proper and everything is right? You can't send your foreman. You can't send the master builder to the hardware store. The able bodies, you want to keep them on a project. Let them go ahead and keep working and getting things done. I'm going to go ahead and run to the hardware store, get the material, get all the stuff that you need. You basically humbling yourself enough to be in servitude for the foreman. You got to serve the foreman. The foreman's got to tell you, hey, I need A, B, and C. You got to go and get A, B, and C. Excuse me. Whew. All right. And you got to go pick up A, B, and C. So you're in servitude to the foreman. The foreman, whatever the foreman needs on a job, one who's in charge. You are at his bidding, at his beck and call. Hey, I need more screws. I need more nails. All of that. You got to go run to the store for. All of it. You got to go run to the store for. Been a while since Big Screen B needs to drop another one. Yeah, he probably doing some digging. It takes some time, you know, looking through hours of videos. How you going to debate yourself? Yeah, absolutely. How you gonna do that? Lion Vernon will see that the courts would not care about who did the majority of the physical labor on a specific project. No, that doesn't really matter who did the majority of labor. Did the project get done? And under whose leadership was it accomplished in? You understand what I'm saying? Whose leadership was it accomplished in? You got zippers. Whose leadership was that work accomplished in? If you say that it was yours, Vernon, of course we know that you was not in a position of leadership. You were assigned to handle the projects because you were the master builder, right? Like you claim you were. You say you're master builder. Guess what your job is? To stay the hell on site and keep building. You feel me? Tell the rest of them what to do, how to do it. Teach them if they don't know. Right? That's your job. You know what I mean? And the rest of them who need to learn it needs to be attentive to what's going on. Right? So somebody got to go run in a hardware store. Hey, if you wanted it to be you, Vernon, why not just say that? Hey, I want to, can I go pick it up? I need to take a break. I mean, say something, communicate. Every time I was involved in any of those projects, Pastor Rufus was there working as well. Eyewitness right here. So we got an eyewitness in the chat that said Pastor Rufus was actively working. As to where they said he's standing around sweating, wiping the towel. He's standing with a towel, sweating. That's all he was doing the whole time. Is standing around with a towel and sweating, y'all. Something's very wrong here with this picture, man, when it comes to this, right? Because how if you think that he's standing around with a towel sweating, how long was he standing there sweating with a towel? Can you tell me that? How long did it take him to get back to work? Because you got to be watching him like a hawk. If you watching him like a hawk, then guess what you doing? Not working at all. You got ample amount of time to watch him, don't you? You got a whole hell of a lot of time to watch he's still over there sweating with a towel. I mean, come on now, y'all. Like, yo, how you know the whole time that he's there, that he's standing around sweating, barking orders with a towel, not picking up nothing, just sitting there watching. You got to be sitting there just looking at him, gawking at him for a minute. You know what I mean? But you can't be doing no work if you paying too much attention to one man. And why are you paying so much attention to Pastor Rufus? Don't you got young bucks who need to be learning something? Uncle Vernon. So how are you be able to watch every move that he's doing, the whole entirety of the project? How you know he ain't pick up and then go ahead and hang that drywall real quick? How? If you're not teaching one of these brothers, these young bucks, and I worked with you before, Vernon, but you when you focused on something, you focus. You ain't really worried about everything else around you. You understand what I'm saying? You're not even worried about it. You know what I mean? You're not even worried about it. You don't be looking around and doing all this, man. Listen, you be focused on what you focused on, and it's very seldom that you would be trying to peer in on somebody else's side when they supposed to be taking care of their business. You understand what I mean? Especially if they should know what they doing. But my thing is that you can't be working if you've been sitting there watching Pastor Rufus the whole time. You got to know there's got to be some underlying motive. If a man, he got to been jealous of him. He must have been looking at the glory. Look at Pastor Rufus over here. It had to been some level of jealousy if you're gonna sit there and watch him the whole time to see if he pick up a block, to see if he working. You know what I'm saying? Like, you standing there just gawking at him, just watching him for hours. If you're doing that, you're not getting nothing done. You're not getting no work done. You can't stand there and just watch him. So while you got your back turned, while you're doing work, whatever, you might turn around and subtle glance and see him wipe his forehead real quick. Hey man, go and grab that real quick. And that was the whole entirety of his reputation on the job site. When you working and you busy, you focused on your job, your task, you looking to get it done. You looking to get it done effectively. So how are you watching Pastor Rufus this whole time? This is ridiculous. That's literally the only value Vernon brought to the community. Skilled labor, no wisdom, no biblical knowledge, no common sense, no understanding. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said, Vernon, I want you to make a video and get on here and actually say, hey, I wasn't at Passover 2024. It was either 2023 or 2024 when Pastor Rufus was removed. At that Passover feast, I was not there, crying, sobbing, walking around with my head like, man, I can't believe this happened to me. Listen, I want you to get on here, make a video and say, hey, that brother lying on this podcast, talking about that I was over here crying because I just got a position of leadership. And that the moment I stopped praying for it is the moment he thrusted you in the position. He blessed you with the position. You got to come on here and say that I'm lying, yo. And I want you to come on here and say that I'm lying because I want it to be documented. I want it to be right there on record that you said that I'm a liar and you never was behaving that way during that Passover when I sat there and was sitting there watching you, watching you crying and shit. I got to get back home to my wife, man. My wives, man, I got to get back home because they just newly became leaders of Georgia. So now the wives must gonna be treating them different or something, man. They gonna be putting them on this high level now because the wives like, man, I'm with the leader now of Georgia. You see the carnality. Do you see the level of man worship that comes from these people? That'll literally cry because they got a position of leadership. Been looking for one. You understand what I'm saying? Never was able to get one. And then he had to roll on the only man that he served with for over a decade, right? In order to gain a position in leadership, close to a decade. Served with him close to a decade. Rolled on him. Threw him under the bus. Got the position of leadership. I'm pretty sure Dowell came to him and was like, man, you're going to be leader of Georgia now. I'm going to have to put you heading up over there. And he like, man, listen, what you need from me? Like, listen, he rolled on it because he wanted to make sure that Pastor Rufus wasn't coming back. He had to make sure of that. He had to put the nail in the coffin, make sure he wasn't coming back so he can be able to keep that position of leadership. Look what all I was able to accomplish. This is what this video was all about. Every stop that he made, he said, I and the brethren, right? He said, I'm the one who's the lead builder. Looking like a used car salesman. Looking like one of them shiesty used car salesmen, telling you that he was the master builder, and him and the brethren did it. But I'm the master builder. That tells you everything you need to know about a person, right? Because they're assuming full. They just taking full credit. They taking full credit, letting you know what position they played, what they was doing. Listen, this is crazy. And then completely wiping it out. He even said in here that, Pastor Rufus mentioned that, of course, he helped with the electrical when he was with Elder Becker who came down to put the electrical in. And then he called him a liar on that and said he didn't help him with any of the electrical. He was just there keeping him company. This is crazy, y'all. How we what type of back and forth are we going to continue to have here? Why can't we just go ahead and understand how to pragmatically solve the problem? You understand what I'm saying? This is back and forth. People just watching past the roof is like a hawk. You ain't peeling no eyes away from him. How you gonna get the job done if you sitting there watching them, man, the whole project? Yeah, he laid a few blocks over there and he took off. Like, come on, yo. Somebody make this make sense to me, because I'm trying to understand exactly how we knew every move that Pastor Roof has made on site, and that only move he made was no move at all. He was just standing there barking orders and wiping forehead sweat. How he sweating if he ain't working? I understand. It gets hot in Georgia now. It gets hot in Georgia, but the brother ain't working. How much forehead sweat did he wipe, Vernon? How many times did he wipe? At any time, at any point, did he wipe? Did he help you wipe your forehead sweat? Did he come up on you and say, let me get that forehead sweat for you, bro? You tell me, because honestly, you obviously know. You've been watching him the whole time. As soon as you show up, you've been clocking his teeth. You've been making sure that every little move, you've been jotting it down. You've been watching him like a hawk. So every minute of the minute, you turn to go look and see what he was doing to see if he was lifting a finger. And you're like, no, he wasn't lifting not one. I'm trying to say, my thing is this, right? 2024 Passover. That's right. He told me the same thing. He waited for a long time for this position. Tell me I'm lying, Vernon. Yeah, that's exactly what he told me. He said, man, I've been praying and praying and praying. He even went as far to say that Pastor Rufus would never recommend him for a position of leadership because he was too cardinal. And that's what Pastor Rufus would tell him. Brother Vernon, you too cardinal. You understand what I'm saying? You too cardinal minded for a position of leadership. And now you can definitely see the fruit of that. You can see the fruit of it when you got Brother Robert over here, who also says that he told him the same thing. You see the fruit of being carnal, of wanting the things of the flesh, binding himself to the things of this earth. So that's the reason why he effectively could not loose the things of heaven on this earth. He couldn't exemplify holiness, righteousness to the brethren because he was too stuck on the material things, being materialistic. The conditions of his heart were not pure. He didn't have pure conditions of his heart. He had jealousy, bitterness, greed. And speaking of conditions of your heart, as y'all can see, man, I got this new shirt right here, man. Hopefully you guys see this, right? Hopefully you see it. It's kind of nice, right? Yeah. Conditions of your heart. Conditions of your heart over traditions of man. Conditions of your heart over traditions of man. This is the whole of it. That's Matthew 15. Matthew 15, 17 through 19. That we should not be allowing people to judge us based on what we eat and what day we keep, but we should be more concerned with the conditions of our heart. If you guys want to grab a few of these, man, look, grab you about 50 of them minimum. Okay, minimum. And you guys can find it. You just go to my store there, click the link, and it'll take you to the website, so you can be able to make a purchase. Or just reach out to me if you're having a hard time finding it, man. I'll direct you because I got 2 different websites, yo, and right now I'm trying to merge the 2. So there's 2 different ones. So just so you know, you're going to see it in my store soon. Once they sort out the problem I'm having, the hiccup that I'm having with connectivity, you're going to see them come out soon. Right. We got a few other ones too that you can choose from, but this is the one that I'm wearing here today because the conditions of your heart over the traditions of man. And as we can see that the condition of Vernon's heart was full of bitterness, right? He was bitter because he couldn't get a position of leadership. You understand what I'm saying? He had a callous heart. All of that. You know what I mean? All of that. And I think that's one of the heaviest pushes, right? And this is one of the main reasons why we're doing this 40 days of Eden. Everybody's participating. This is the reasons why. I want to tell also everybody who ordered a journal, and so far you may have had a misprint. I've been redoing it. So now we're going to send out real copies, and the journals that you currently have right now that you ordered, keep those journals. You can keep them free of charge. Okay. And then they're going to send you a new one back out as well. So you'll have 2 of them. Okay. But while we're doing it, you can log your stuff until the new one comes, and then transfer it over to the journal. Okay, then you can transfer it over. Then, but you got 2 of them now. You got 2 for the price of 1. So hallelujah, right? Extra pages to be able to write on, or sketch, or draw, whatever you want to do. But yeah, so I'm taking care of those orders that was misprinted. Okay, and I've already reached out to some of y'all, and y'all took pictures and sent them to me and got back. I'm going to go ahead and forward. I've already forwarded those pictures over, and they're going to go ahead and fix it for you. And then we're going to send you a new one. All right. Just so you guys know. All right. Let's go ahead and do this thing. Cause I mean, yeah, my thing is this, right? He said, no, sir, Warsheep podcast reactions. Dowell made it clear on a recent Patreon video to leaders that Vernon is not a leader over Straitway, Georgia. Dowell is overseeing Straitway, Georgia. Okay, and Straitway, Georgia East. He's still not a leader. That's sad. That's sad. He still ain't no leader. Oh man, we got him back. After 14 years, they all turned their backs on Rufus. LOL. Listen, honestly, tell you the truth, my dog. Listen, let me tell you something, bro. If you with a ministry and you got a lot invested, right? As we can see with Becker and the rest of them who's standing by, just idly watching Dowell commit all this sin, things that you disagree with too. We see them. They got stuff invested. Individuals who live on that land, they got their livelihood invested. And they're willing to go with whatever they're being told. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised not many of them left. I'm not surprised that many of them didn't follow him out. You understand what I'm saying? And what we will not do is have you disrespecting anybody in the chat. So we can remove him. We're going to go ahead and remove you, because you know what? You ain't going to be disrespectful in the chat. There we go. We'll take care of you. Pack you up real quick. As long as you keep it respectful, just keep it honorable, keep it respectful, and you good. When you start name calling, start bashing, listen, you through. You up out of here. It's just that quick. Boom. We Thanos you up out of here. You understand what I'm saying? Snap of a finger. You through. All right. Now you can't even talk. Now you gotta sit down, shut your ass up, right? With all due respect. Respectfully, okay? Respectfully. Because you are older than me. You're my elder. I don't want to be disrespectful. Right? So, you know, my apologies. I don't mean to tell you shut your ass up or nothing like that. I mean, I don't believe you committed any. Well, I mean, you bore false witness, but you know, I'm still not gonna go there with you. But you gotta sit down, chill out, enjoy the show. You understand what I'm saying? we in the middle of something right now. We trying to handle something right now. All right. That's true, Pastor Rufus. I heard that as well. They are temporary positions. Yeah, they're temporary positions at both of them. Best at both Georgia lands. Yep. So that's sad. So he still ain't no leader, because they know that he's cardinal. They know that he's cardinal minded. They know that the brother was crying, talking about he was in a position of leadership, but he ain't no leader for real though. That's sad, yo. I wouldn't be surprised if he left Straitway and had a testimony like, man, man, I thought I was feeling leader. Pastor Rufus, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry I did that to you, man. Come out here and start repenting because of the simple fact that he was doing some BS, and Dowell wouldn't even put him on, as a head of Georgia, because he know who he is. He know his character, right? 40 hashtag. Yeah, let's drop it in the chat, y'all. Everybody who ready for this 40 days of eating, man, it's coming up real soon on the 1st. Hopefully you guys are ready and prepared. I'm going to be making some things, and what I'm going to do is put out the guidelines, y'all, and so that way we'll have a good guideline. So drop that hashtag 40 days of eating, man. Hallelujah. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to go ahead and get to it. This is going to be a beautiful time to do. Man, listen, I'm ready for this. I've been waiting for this, because you know what? I'm ready to just go ahead and isolate. That's what I'm ready to do. ISO. We're going to run an ISO play on the Father real quick and try to and not try to, but we're gonna get close. We're gonna start honing in, getting rid of a lot of these distractions, right? Let's get Mike Trolls in the house, rolling on the floor. That dude is the definition of a butt hurt, is a definition of butt hurt. Yeah, he been coming at it like crazy. I'm in the comments now. Listen, Randy is a type of flying. Man, hey, y'all get him. Get him, man. Rosa, Sister Rosa, I agreed. Hallelujah. I'm sure it hit Vernon hard when they made bro Jonathan a elder and not him. Shaking my head. That's crazy. That's crazy work. That's crazy work. I mean, he still ain't there. Effectively, all that shit he was saying that during Passover, he still ain't there. He still ain't in the position of leadership. He's still just a brother. He's still just a brother. He's still brother Uncle Vernon. He's still like just a point of contact. Okay, a POC. That's it. How long has Vernon been with the ministry to still be a POC? Working, doing scum work. You feel me? Bagging shit. You know what I mean? Doing the groundwork, being a grunt. He's still a grunt. He's still just another brother, right? And he's been with the ministry for close to over a decade, right? Close to over a decade, yo, and he still ain't in a position of leadership. You know how Yah is, how he move. Yah, the Most High, he has a real sense of humor, y'all. He has a real sense of humor. He'll get a good laugh out of something real quick. I promise you. The way he was crying and sobbing about what had happened, and now he's been thrust in the position of leadership. And the moment he stopped praying, how embarrassing is this? This is embarrassing, yo. Now has a lot of flying monkeys. Yeah, all over the place. 40 days of Eden. Hallelujah. Hashtag that. Yeah, clock that. Since 2011, he's been in the ministry. I'm just saying. And you still riding hard, yo. And you still riding. It's oh man, 15. And he's a native to Michigan, yo. But you still riding hard. You trying to get a position of leadership so hard, man. You can't even stand it. You can't even stand yourself at this moment. You can't even stand yourself. You need it so badly. You can't even stand it yourself. All right, let me see. Man. All right. That's one of the biggest things, though. 15 years for Vernon and still a POC. 15 years for him and still a POC. 15 years. That's sad. That is absolutely sad. Let me see. Uh-oh. Let me see. All right. My thing is this, right? Is that, you know, when we're going through these things and we're actually showing forth some evidence on something, and then what they respond to, the things that they actually go and reply to are the things that don't even really matter. They don't even really matter. And we're going to land this plane here soon. I just really wanted to pull this up. You guys got to go watch this because he ran through this thing and he really was trying to make something make sense. Okay. And my thing is that, listen, I hear you. I hear your plight. You said you was the foreman. You said that you was the one who was in charge. You was the lead of the projects. I hear you, yo. And listen, I don't knock you. You know what I'm saying? But listen, this is what I'm going to say. Why don't we address the real issues? Why don't we address the things that sparked a problem? Why don't we address the core issues, right? And stop making videos that are frivolous, that don't make no difference in life, that's not going to change anything, okay? It ain't gonna change nothing. It's not gonna make a difference. It's not going to make a difference. But either way, we're going to go ahead, and that's one of the biggest things that I really wanted to bring out, to show. Yes, we're dealing with a ministry that is pagan in nature, that's full of idolatry and man worship. And not only that, they're going to ignore clear signs of idolatry. They're going to ignore clear signs of man worship. They're going to ignore all of that. And they're going to address some of the smallest issues. They're not going to even worry about some of the larger problems that are a problem in this ministry. They're just not going to care enough. They don't care. They could care less about the larger issues in the ministry. They could care less. And that's just facts. So my thing is this, right? We're going to continue to roll it out. I mean, the more that they continue to try to address things and they try to bring out lies or whatever, slander or what's going on, the more they try to do that, the more we're going to address it. The more we're going to continue to bring out more of the truth. The more we're going to do it, okay? And that's one of the largest things. That's one of the biggest things we have to identify, is that we have to address the truth. We got to bring it with the truth, and we got to honestly really reveal their true intent. The intentions are to address this little petty stuff. They can't address the bigger stuff. And the reason why they can't address the bigger stuff is because they don't have nothing they can rebut it with. They don't have no proof. There's no evidence of anything that they can actually rebut it with. And they know for sure if they try to come out here and start lying on something even more, that it can be proven that they're lying. So that's the reason why you hear him slandering Brother Robert in regards to his testimony, instead of actually doing what's necessary to prove that what he was saying was not true, right? That what Dowell was saying in his video that he tried to keep private, that was the truth, and that Brother Robert was lying. He didn't address any of it. What he did is he went to go slander him. Same thing with this guy Vernon, okay? He didn't address any of the truth or the facts. He went to go slander somebody. He went to go try to defame them or make them seem like they didn't do nothing on a job site to be able to bring down their character. That's what he actively was doing, right? So you see the pattern here. You see these individuals' hearts, and you see that their heart really there's no purity in it. They're not really having your best interest at heart. They don't really care effectively anything about what you're doing. They don't really care. They only care about their image, their public image. They don't care about anything else other than that. That's it. And if they really did care about more than just that, then they'll come out here and address the true core issues. Not only that, provide the evidence for those issues. They'll provide it. They'll try to bring clarity to the people and not try to chop up the audio in order to fit or suit what their delivery is of the message. So they make it seem like something that is not. That's what effectively, right? These video matters in court when clearly proving slander, lies, malicious intent. Absolutely. They actually working for my attorneys. Yeah. They're doing all this work for the attorney. You know what I mean? They're putting in work, yo. And they're throwing themselves under the proverbial bus every single time they address this. And they don't address nothing that matters, right? Everything that they've done so far, with every video they put out, so-called addressing something, it has some sort of slander in it to where they're just defaming somebody and don't address the core issues that are being brought up. They try to pretend like nobody's called them out on sin, like Dowell. Nobody's called his sin out. They try to pretend that, right? And then they just go forth with more slander, with more gossip, with more backbiting. Truly, not bringing no truth or edification to the body. Everybody's still confused. Nobody understands their position. Nobody has had tangible proof and evidence of their position. That Pastor Rufus did this and he did that. Nobody has any proof. They say they got proof. They won't release the proof though. Release it on your Patreon, Dowell. Put it at a 100 level. Somebody let's go and commandeer that so we can go ahead and listen to the audio. We got the recipe now. He ain't gonna put it out. He ain't gonna put it out for the simple fact because he knows now we have the recipe. So he ain't gonna be talking about that on his Patreon. He ain't gonna put out no more on his Patreon because we got the recipe now. Now we can go ahead and still cover it no matter what he say. You understand what I'm saying? private, public, on a private platform, monetized private platform. It don't matter what you say to those lies, Dowell. We're going to bring out the lies and we're going to back that up with truth. Man, I'm trying to tell you, defamation is a real crime. Vernon is not giving up enough money or having enough skill for Dowell to make him a leader. Absolutely not. He sure ain't. Y'all will be the glory. Bless you, brother Brad, for your labor of love. Bless you. I appreciate it, society. Bless you. Absolutely. Man, we're going to go ahead and land this plane here, y'all. Bless y'all. I really appreciate you guys joining me here for the Warsheep podcast. Listen, it was a light one today. I just really wanted to kick it, show you guys some things about idolatry. We had this one guy pop up out of nowhere. Listen, we had some newcomers in the chat, so welcome to the chat. Welcome to the Warsheep podcast. I appreciate you guys going along with me on this ride, y'all. And we're going to keep our eyes open for a lot of this idolatry as well. We already know. We've already really pegged the idolatry that's coming from Straitway. And even more so, we see what times that we're in. We're in these times, y'all. We're in these times where people are doing this and they're calling it good evil and evil good. Where they're hearkening, leaders with itching ears, wanting to hear what they want to hear. This is a Warsheep podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. Right? Share this video with others, okay? Let's make this thing go viral and holler at your boy, all right, on the next flock, okay? All my righteous alpha men on the way out, if we can drop some ram in a chat for me, please. And all my elegant women, my sisters who are exceptional, drop a sheep in the chat on the way out. We'll see you guys in the next flock. All right, peace and shalom.